Hi everyone, welcome to our Achtung, Cthulhu 2D20 stream here on Encounter Roleplay. Ready to kick those Nazis right in the tentacles every Friday night. We're here 10 PM GMT, 5 PM Eastern. If you're watching back on YouTube, check us out live every Friday, every week until the war is over. I am Sam Webb from Odysseus Entertainment and the other half of Black Cats Gaming, and I have a lovely panel of people here who are going to game with me this evening and test out the system for us. Not only that, but they are going to engage in an amazing story of Shadows of Atlantis. Let's go around quickly, have a chat to everybody. I want you to know what you've been up to and what you're looking forward to like next week. Just plug some stuff and tell us what you're all about. Prue, how has your week been and what are you looking forward to next week?
Well, this week's been all right. I've endured, despite some whatever health problems. It's fine. I've had a really fun week of gaming, and I look forward to the start. Actually, this weekend over on the Tales from the Grim Twitch channel is the start of the Highlander game in the Cypher system, run by Greg. And I won't be in it till episode 3, I believe, but I can't wait for it to kick off this weekend. I believe that's 4 Eastern on Sunday. But yeah, I'm ready to taste some Vienna chocolate or something.
It's definitely gonna be chocolate. No, but you're not in it for like three weeks or whatever.
No, because we're running it kind of like the TV series. So it's like you get to meet Sarah McLeod in the first episode, and you get to meet the bad guy in the second episode, and then I come in the third episode, and we have our flashback where we meet and flash forward and solve the problem. And so there's 6 players, and they'll slowly be like brought in, and whoever makes it to the gathering makes it to the gathering. So hopefully my Roman badass Tiberius will actually make it to the gathering. What we shall see. In due time.
There can only be one.
There can be only one. That is true.
I haven't seen it. I misquoted. That's fine.
It's fine. It's cool. I wasn't gonna completely call you out on it, but I had to,
call myself out. That's how I roll. Virginia.
It's all right, man. At least you're honest.
That's fine. Virginia, how are you doing this week? Obviously, I know, but tell these lovely people. And what are you looking forward to next week? What are you up to?
This week's been a good one. It's been a long one because of back problems and stuff like that. But mostly just
Everyone's
working
had a health
on
thing, haven't they?
Yeah, it's maybe it's just a thing. It's just a weird week. But yeah, doing work on the John Carter of Mars RPG. I got to write my first Kickstarter update today, so that was fun. Yeah, I am looking forward to seeing what happens at the end of this, because I've been getting Sam all week being like, "Oh, I thought the thing," and then just not saying the thing. I'm
kind of making this face.
That face. He's been making that face at me all week. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to seeing where this goes because I'm enjoying it. Hence the get up today.
So am I. I've had some loopy ideas, and then I've gone, actually, do you know what? It's meant to be pulpy. Let's just do this. So I'm looking forward to this, particularly this episode. And we're joined by Susanna Grace. Hello. What have you been up to this week? And what are you up to next week?
Unlike most of my co-players, I have been the picture of health this week. I've been fine. I've been great. So, haha.
Good job.
Still feuding for it.
But
this week, I feel like allegedly, I passed it to Charlie on the Sunday. So, fingers crossed. Now, we did try and scheme on Twitter to get you to have it on today. So, hopefully, it happened.
You might need it.
But no, this past week has been filled with all sorts of TTRPG action. Yesterday we had a very, very silly blind date episode of Once Upon a Time, the viewer game, in which Cilla Black was a pit fiend.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
And I got to say, surprise, surprise, as a pit fiend. And basically I didn't know my entire life was leading up to that moment, but there it was.
You've made it now.
I know, I've made it. That's it. But yeah, I'm super looking forward to today. Hopefully I can shoot something if we get into a fight today. I'll remember to use my my stuff properly. And yeah, I'm looking forward to see what further shenanigans Sam has in store for us with that patented DM face.
If you can't remember what it's called, you're not allowed to use it.
Shut up. Yeah,
That's
I can.
fine.
You're not the boss of me. What are you, my GM or something?
Wait a second. Awesome. Shauna, you're with us as well. How are you doing? What have you been up to this week? And
Doing
what are
good.
you up to next week?
All the games, all my games have kind of finally gotten over people being sick, so it's been a good week.
Good.
Our Against the Giants game, we came up against our biggest enemy, which is player hubris. When you beat something and have a good victory, it's like, we don't need our allies. We can just go into the village and take this on our own. No, we almost died. It's one of those things. But yeah, I'm looking forward to just having my games this week and kind of like having the kind of mental whiplash of going from like the bookish person to like playing a glamour bard. So I always enjoy that.
Bards, man. Bards.
Bards are the worst. They're the best, but they're also the worst.
Cool. Well, thank you very much. And Callum is here from Rolly's podcast. How are you doing, sir?
I'm okay, although I'm one time zone further than usual. I'm on the continent tonight, which is why I've got this heavenly light. This week I've been interviewing Virginia. We should be in an episode in a couple episodes. And rather than talk of next week, tonight I wanted to make a little obituary, because someone sadly passed away today. This person is a gentleman called William Churchill, or Dick Churchill, a gentleman who's been part of the 50s, 51st, and of the 76 Allied Airmen. He was part of an operation called Escape 200, which is the event which inspired the movie The Great Escape.
Wow.
So that proper heroic veteran left us today at the age of 95. I recommend to go check him out on Wikipedia. Maybe watch The Great Escape, although himself was not happy with the movie, which he thought was too positive and technicolor compared to his experience. And not only he passed away, but he was the last survivor of this event. So that's it. All the people from that operation have now left us. So yeah, please go read about it.
We're kind of at a point now with the Second World War that we were at, I think, with the First in the last couple of decades, where we're starting to lose the first-hand accounts of these things. And I know that actually that's a big part of why Chris, when he started this game and started the Kickstarter, he wanted to keep the story of the Second World War alive and the kind of the heroism in individual normal people. So that kind of thing kind of brings it home, I guess. But yeah, here's to him. And yeah.
If there's anyone around you who's been part in any way, in the case of European viewers, maybe a civilian, I encourage you to go question a bit about this. I'm going to see my grandmother tomorrow, and she was in Belgium, in occupied Belgium, so it's not a subject they're necessarily willing to talk about, but that's something we should learn more about, I think, in general. But on that note, let's have fun.
Yeah, man. This week I have been mostly arranging for playtesting of the Spy game. So I have been in touch with Oz Mills, I've been in touch with Charlie, Frost from Fire, and I've been in touch with Virginia about getting together on Sunday and doing some stream testing. So this Sunday, I'm very excited to say that we will have our first live streamed beta test of the game. We're going to be trying to make and break characters. So we're just going to be doing that for a couple hours, I guess. Not going to be incredibly exciting or anything, but if you're interested in the game, like you might have heard me mention it a few times, then do check it out, because we'll be giving it a go and seeing what breaks, because that's what it's all about. Sweet. All right, so let me do some sponsory stuff. We are using Fantasy Grounds tonight for all of our virtual tabletopping needs. If you go to fantasygrounds.com, also available on Steam, then you can use it for your kind of characters, tokens, maps, all sorts of stuff, all of your virtual tabletop needs. Also, you go to waylandgames.co.uk for 20% off 40k and Warhammer miniatures and all that kind of stuff, as well as some other discounts on lots of other lines, including RPGs as well. And then we're also sponsored by DiceEnvy.com. They have this incredibly dangerous subscription service for starting at only $5 a month. You can get some awesome dice sent to you every single month. And I hear they are also doing limited runs of stuff too. So if you kind of subscribe at slightly higher end of things, then you'll be able to get some really, really amazing dice through. That sounds like a really slippery slope though, so I've got to really tempt myself from not doing that. You can also support this stream and of course the channel by retweeting the hell out of our live tweet for the game. So hopefully chat will shoot that over into the mod will shoot that over into chat. There it is. So retweet that, and please 20 retweets would be awesome. You can also donate tonight. I've even written this down for once. For 375 bits, you can give these lovely folks some critical successes and complications. Remember, in 2d20, 1s are amazing, 20s are really bad. If you want to give them a natural 1 or a natural 20, then that's just 375 bits. 760 bits, we can do some magic mythos surges. Some weird shit will happen that no one can explain, and I'll kind of throw it their way and see what happens. For 1250 bits, we can get one of these folks an awesome bit of spy gear next time once they requisition gear. I've got 1250 again for some spooky mythos monstrosities. So if you want some spooky monsters to head on up here, then definitely give that one a go. For 2,500 bits, you can get them a cool vehicle. And for £300, the ultimate donation, Cthulhu turns up. I'll try it. You'll all die. But, you know, if someone really wants to screw with you, I can't stop them. So yeah, please donate for those kind of wild magic surges and all that kind of weird stuff. And also the kind of month special apparently is the Table of Pets. I don't know if that's still a thing. That might be a thing. That might be an old bit of my script. Just donate. Tell us why you want to donate and what you want to see, and we'll try and integrate it into the game. Cool. All right. Let me get back to our actual session. Last week, the group made contact with Gisela for the second time, finally speaking to her enclosed in one of the carriages of the Vienna Reisenrad. The Price sisters, Constance and Sophia, spoke to Dr. Erlingman's widow. As below in the Verstalprater, George met with one of his old Republican contacts operating in Vienna. Willem told George about 2 anti-fascist agents in Rome who were in trouble and needed his help. Then, after a tense plea from help from Gisela, the whole Strasse below exploded into chaos as the twisted, grotesque forms of horrors of the Nazi occult sprinted towards the Ferris wheel on all 3 of its feet and 4 of its hands. Its many contorted, silently screaming faces horrifying the amusement park goers. Ward and Elsie sprang into action and shot at the undeathly monsters as they clambered up the carriage and grabbed Gisela, taking her off into the Viennese night. With Gisela captive, but a lead on an apothecary shop, the group have their options to weigh up. So we begin in the morning after the night before. Breakfast in the little hotel that you have managed to secure. And it seems in such a strange way like a normal day. Breakfast is being ordered and served as usual. There are newspapers on the stand. Who'd grab a newspaper? All right, George. George, you flick through the Wiener Zeitung, the official Austrian government newspaper of the time. And it doesn't report anything of the bloody carriage of yesterday. Absolutely nothing.
What a surprise.
So you guys have an option now to have a little chat, reconvene from last week, talk through plans and decisions and clues that you've got from last week too.
So last week you were discussing eventually we would go with me and Ward to that chocolate shop in a chance to reach Willem and find out more about what he knew about what happened the fair, because it tied with some memory I had which involved him as well back in La Sierra de Teruel.
Yeah. Did you want to head back there before you did anything else, because the other thing that you have on your plate is the kind of watermarked hidden message in the letter to Gisela, and that points you towards an apothecary shop in town.
We were able to determine that it's here then. I wasn't sure about that.
Well, it certainly says to head to it. It's the Mexican's apothecary shop. You guys still should have that in your images and maps thing. That's still shared. You want to head to Dearest G, and it has the message in it as well.
Okay. It's good you specified that, because I was wondering if our next step was Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah, so to look to the Mexican's apothecary's bookshop, there lies the key to unlock the gates of history. Whatever that means.
Yeah. So Mexican apothecary's shop, as possessive possessive noun of Mexican apothecary.
Well, Ward would be all for going there first, because that is the mission. But definitely we should hit the chocolate shop at some point.
Well, I have no problem going to the Mexican apothecary. I mean, yeah, everything which is happening right now it's bigger than anything else. We will need as much allies as we can to defeat that thing, but yeah, we need to stay focused. I agree. I agree with the good captain.
Well, I think we're also going to need something a little bit more than allies, because I put a whole clip into one of those things last night. Barely phased it, so I have to start. I don't know if you have any connections that can get us some hardware, but
well, I brought El Tigre with me, so I wanted to take it with me, but you've seen in my bedroom something wrapped in a piece of cloth. It's quite obvious it's a rifle of some kind. Well, the problem is it's nice to be well equipped, but how do we go through the city with that? And I mean, that's a choice. It's a risk to carry that stuff with us. So yeah. Sam, is there anywhere I could get supplies here somehow? I
mean, if you've got anti-fascist agents here in Vienna that you've already made contact with, Willem, obviously, he might be able to give you a lead on some equipment if you needed it.
So that would actually mean that then we don't go first to the Mexican apothecary, but the chocolate then. So it's time versus being fully equipped, prepared. I would tend to think that what do you say in English? Speed is of the essence. I don't know.
Yeah, that or time. But yeah, same difference.
I think we should head to the apothecary bookshop first and see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're gonna have a big shootout in a bookshop. I mean, what harm can come of books, really?
Famous last words.
Then again, I didn't think we'd be having a big shootout at a Ferris wheel either.
Yes.
I'm saying what harm could come of books, but I learnt to do what I could do through them. There are some books out there that can cause a lot of harm. Probably a better reason to go and check it out, because if there is something weird there, then maybe we can make everyone here a little bit safer by getting rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
Constance, do you have any advice for us about what we should or should not do in this kind of situation? Because we've been meeting. Well, I mean, we've been confronted with some of your gifts, but at the same time, I don't feel like we are extremely informed and well prepared about what is going on. From what you've seen, you've got stuff we should look for. I mean,
I've seen some pretty strange things, but nothing like that. The best thing to probably do is not pick anything up if it looks like it's a bit strange. Don't read from any weird books. Don't play around with any weird artifacts.
Hmm.
Do you know? I mean, did the night brought you some epiphany of some kind? Do you know if? I mean, did you remember perchance anything about those creatures? I mean, I was about to say it's not a fairy tale, but at the same time,
We did
don't they have a
actually.
weak point or something like that? Should we aim for?
I think from like Norse mythology, didn't we, Sam? There were Draugr.
Yeah, you kind of identified them as Draugr.
Yeah, so somebody is playing with something that they really shouldn't be playing with. But I don't know, this bookshop's supposed to unlock the gates of history according to that note, so we might be able to find out more once we get there. There might even be some books that I can look at that might help, but
Yeah. Whatever it was important enough to have a secret message written down, so we should. Speaking of like last night, we did have the little crystals of the off the creature, right? The gas.
You wanted some like I did write it down. You wanted some kind of like residue and sample and stuff, didn't you?
Yep, I have analytical tools for that sort of thing. If I could overnight have looked at it while everyone's recovering.
Sure. Well, you want to make me a roll. So just to kind of analyze this, I guess, this would be, let me check up our exact skill list for this. Like we said to me this week, I've got so many versions of 2d20 in my head, I need to check. So I think this could either be reason or insight, and then that's definitely academia. Science would be the focus that would apply.
Okay. Yep. So it's going to be reason. I'm going to go with reason and academia, and that's going to have to be a 15. So here we go.
So difficulty 1, because this is some kind of strange stuff. But then any momentum and stuff we can always use to ask questions and stuff.
Okay. Ooh. Nice.
Nice. Like 3 successes there, I think. Right? Cool. All right. So let's give you 2 momentum then, just to kick off. And in terms of the actual you actually passing the skill test, what do you want to learn specifically about the stuff?
If there's anything harmful, we're having it near exposure.
Yeah. So the green gas that's kind of crystallized a bit, that you took a sample off your clothing, it is slightly radioactive, but not so much that it would cause you any worry. Just above background. It gives it a kind of green luminosity. But it is essentially, its kind of building blocks are all made of kind of like toxins. So this stuff is essentially toxic. Like long-term dermal exposure might mean that it starts to seep in and, via osmosis, obviously seep into the skin and then into your bloodstream and such. The obviously ingestion would be much worse, a lot like radioactive material is. Ingestion is, and breathing in is so much worse than that. So it's like Pruitt's already got a wild magic surge happening, or a monster magic surge on screen. Hi, Monk. Cool. Okay. So in terms of your 2 momentum, you're cool to Shawnee. You're cool to bank that now if you want, but you can spend, and I leave this down to you. And you can ask the group what questions you want to ask. If not, but I just thought I'd flag the obtain information momentum spend, because that's the one I think you probably want to go for here particularly.
Is there anything you all know about it?
Well, is it, I don't know, weak at anything? cold, heat, whatever, holy water.
Yeah, does it react to anything? Like a heat, cold, fire, stimulus?
Germs,
Jo-
water.
George swears in French some stuff which sounds definitely not Christian.
Elsie is shocked that a gentleman would speak such language. Notes down the swears for later.
I'm definitely a gentleman, that's for sure.
You always learn the swears last. Sorry, first.
No, you learn
that's
the
what I meant.
swears first, yeah.
That's what I meant. Sorry, yeah sorry. Okay, so Shauna, it's down to you. So you get to, if you want to spend the momentum, you get to ask me a question, and I will answer truthfully.
Yes. You know what? I will do that. Let me just double check, make sure. I'm trying to figure out what one of my talents for one of my things is. Sorry. If that works with this.
Do check your talents, folks, because I will have forgotten them.
Yeah. Or does detailed analysis work with this?
Let's have a look at detailed analysis. Is that your archetype?
Oh, that's two. That's two. That's two. Momentum. But all right. So what I'll ask is there anything that I will go with the one that says is it anything that it's especially reactive to, like heat, cold exposure, sunlight, that sort of thing.
It is not very reactive to like warm flesh.
Okay. It's not very reactive?
No.
Ooh. Okay. That's good to know and slightly ominous.
So you guys have got one more momentum. Shauna, before you bank it, did you want to ask another question or spend it in a different way? Or did you want to save it for now? I should let you guys know as well, sorry, that because we're carrying over the threat pool from until the end of the adventure, I only have 3 threat right now.
Oh. Good.
See how he said that as if we should feel bad for him?
Don't feel bad for me. Just
maybe
throw it back at me.
you guys could give me some threat. Whatever.
So, Sam, remind the viewers, because I would know, of course, because I read everything so thoroughly and I've got a great memory. What happens when you got how many threats? Can you just spend them one by one, or is it when you got 6? I think the viewers need to know that.
Oh, yeah. So I can spend threat in any way that you guys can spend momentum on my like NPCs and stuff. But not only that, I can spend it in either small or massive ways to change the story up. Truths in a scene. So like, torrential rain could be a truth in a street scene. So I could spend 2 threat to make that worse or to change it. I could even spend 2 threat to introduce torrential rain. But that's something that happens, and the reason I have to spend threat on it is it's because it's happening in the middle of a scene. When I'm establishing a scene or I'm like framing a scene, I don't have to spend any threat to do that. I introduce the elements of the scene, I can describe some truths if they're applicable, and then we crack on. So I can spend it in more narrative ways as well. Equally, 3 threat is my kind of price for like a fortune kind of point spend, like re-rolling dice or just setting a dice to a 1, so I get 2 automatic successes. And that kind of stuff is more done to NPCs. That's what I can do. Cool. So right now, can't do much. Oh, I can introduce reinforcements as well. So what we're now calling trooper NPCs, like the grunts, they're 1 threat. If I want to introduce some kind of lieutenant NPCs, then they're 2 threat. If I want to introduce like a nemesis, then it has to make sense in the scene. I can't just, arguably I can dump a load of threat maybe on that, but the whole point of a nemesis is that you should kind of either be aware that they're coming, or it should be part of the scene or a complete surprise. So that's not necessarily as rules written threat spend. But so I can do reinforcements, I can do like a narrative change, and that varies on the cost. Or I can use it as you guys can on momentum for my NPCs. So 1 momentum at the moment. I've got 3 threat. Did you want to ask any more questions?
I think I'm all set.
Yeah.
We should definitely take care of these clothes that we've had last night. It's the substance is ambiguously radioactive, and prolonged it's pretty toxic, actually. So it's a good thing we didn't ingest it anyway in the Ferris wheel.
Right. So don't lick them. Got it.
Don't breathe it specifically. Don't breathe in the gas.
All right. I will not inhale.
Sophia, you will remember that in the carriage, there was no way you didn't breathe in a little bit of that gas.
Yeah.
Are there any other preparations we need to make? Because I would really like to prepare some spells. Because they go away when I sleep. I don't want to leave myself defenseless in case we have more of those things come after us, but I don't know if anyone else has anything they need to do before we leave. It's got preparations to make.
Well, maybe while you're preparing your spells, George, you think maybe we could procure some wheels?
Maybe.
That way you could maybe carry around your and he kind of nods to the wrapped up rifle in the corner. I mean, be a little bit easier to move that around town. Keep it nearby.
Yeah, for sure. Well, yeah, we could try stealing something, I guess.
As you said, it's like Elsie's got toast shoved in her face, and she just looks up with a big dopey grin on, like a little bit of jam sticking out the side.
I guess it's something for me and Elsie to sort out then.
Luckily for you lot, that's my specialty. Ain't nothing I can't drive.
Well, before you can drive it, you need to steal it. But I guess you could start one quite easily. I mean, you got that spanner with you, right?
Amongst other things, yeah. That's how you hotwire a car with a spanner, yeah, George. Don't know how they make cars on the continent.
Amazing. All right, so we're gonna keep this on track. So we've got plans to steal a car, find the apothecary shop, and try and make contact with Willem again. All right, cool. Just as luck would have it, as you're analyzing the stuff, Sophia, and as they're talking about the clue in the apothecary shop again, you realize that it actually twigs you know this place, because the British Museum has been in touch. You don't actually know the exact location, the street and such, because it's on an unnamed street in Vienna. You've relied a lot on local knowledge to then kind of either get you a couple of Aztec artifacts that the museum has tried to look into, or they've come to you somehow otherwise. The owner, though, that you know as Ernst Pretsch, so he's the bookshop owner. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Pretsch. I'm going to type it in chat.
Actually, I think I may know who it is. It's procured some artifacts, helped us with some research. It's a man called Ernst Pretsch. He's in this area, but it's hard to find because it's on an unnamed street. But I'm pretty sure we could probably find it pretty easily. A certain amount of bookstores and that sort of thing. At least we won't have to search the entirety of Vienna to try and find it.
Yeah, you know roughly where it is, but because it's on this little unnamed street, you're just not exactly sure. You could probably spot it if you were looking straight at it. It's going to have some telltale signs of a little kind of culty bookshop, So okay, so are we going to split the party, guys? Are we going to go in different directions here and work out on the kind of the car and stuff, or are you going to try and all nick the car, all go to the shop, all go to the secret rendezvous?
Look, I'm no car thief expert, but I'm pretty sure 5 people stealing a car is really suspicious. So
Well, we could
yeah.
take the car there because then at least we can make a speedy getaway. That's time to prepare my spells. I need about 18 minutes.
So
I think you're muted for it.
I think Prue's mute.
such a sweet
I was gonna
silence.
say, while Constance is doing her spells, then they can go get the car ready and bring it around, and then we can go to the apothecary shop together.
Cool.
Okay,
All right,
is
let's
the-
get on it.
Yep.
So that's
Yeah,
you,
Wart's gonna
Callum,
stay at
and-
the hotel or whatever, and like just keep a lookout.
Yeah, so that's George and Elsie, right? This is what we're doing. Cool. Okay. Talk me through it, guys. What?
I need to be undercover.
Oh. I feel entirely underdressed for tonight, and I don't know. Maybe I have to get some kind of like Shoggoth onesie or something because like you're all in these great little costumes, and I have nothing. I have a cat and I'm wearing a skull T-shirt. I don't know if that helps. Nice.
I like
What
to
did you-
think that George and Elsie go out dressed as "How do you do, fellow Austrians?" She's got her hair in like this plait. He's got a hat on.
I've been to Austria a couple of times. I love this place, and yeah, people don't.
Well, so according to the adventure, people are at the moment, and it's just a bit of a kind of cultural fuck you to the Nazis. Like they're like, you're coming over here, taking our country, not by force, but like you basically made yourselves like a fucking home here, and you holiday here. So now everyone is being like as Austrian as they possibly can, just to piss people off. So you do see a few of the hats, a few of the lederhosen as guys walk down the street. Women are wearing slightly more traditional like clothing and stuff. So it is that kind of, giant 2 fingers up at the Nazis thing going on. So you step out into the street, nodding your head at your fellow Austrians. I love it. And there is one
Yodeling.
lonely car in this street. And it is unattended at the moment. It's fairly early morning, a weekday, but before like a kind of a working day. So I'm like it could be like kind of 7:30 or so. As you guys have probably not got a lot of sleep after last night, but you've had enough time to just rest up and probably got bored enough that breakfast, as soon as it was able to be served, you were just kind of down there because it was somewhere to be. So 7:30 out on this Viennese street, and you see a car. What would you like to do? There's a couple of people walking by. It's I imagine kind of a little. It's more of like a traditional street. You're in a slightly more historic area. But yeah, there's not a lot of people around. But this car is basically in plain sight.
Okay, so what I would like to do is actually not exactly make a distraction, but I mean, take a newspaper sort of thing, engage with the passerby, so we sort of screen the door of the car. So Elsie's got. So I'm gonna tell Elsie, okay, I'm gonna do this thing there, and this way, at my signal, you can go to the car and do your thing to the car.
Well, I reckon we should walk up to the car as if we own it, because it's not going to look suspicious. If we just walk straight up, brazenly right up to the car, that doesn't look weird. If we're skulking around, like, left and right, then that looks suspicious.
Yeah, okay. I thought you needed some time to lockpick it or something, but yeah, sure.
Well, we'll see when we get there, won't we? And I'll, like, just casually just pull a hairpin out of my hair and palm it.
Nice. All right. Elsie, this is your lead on the test. So you're going to be rolling your 2d20, and you can buy more dice as you wish. George, you're going to assist here. You can obviously assist with stealth. Elsie, you're going to be working on vehicles as a skill. Let me know what attributes you guys are using and how you're going about these little actions.
I think it would be either reason or insight. I think reason, no? And
How
urban
so?
stuff. I mean, I observe where the car is, etc. The through experience the angles in the street. So just positioning myself, being very rational about where I stand, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right. So you're surveying the street. You know the tricks. You are kind of applying that to the situation in what has been dubbed in chat Grand Theft Tentacle.
Okay.
It would have been Grand Tentacle Auto. I would have thought.
Maybe Tentacle Theft Auto. We could be here all night. Sorry, Susie. So what are you using, and how are you going about it?
I would like to make a case for coordination vehicles, because I've got to be deft of fingers and know my way around a car.
Cool. So I'm Grand Theft Achtung. Nice. There we go, Charlie. Thanks. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna give you a couple of options. Okay. Mm-hmm. You can take some time over this, and this will be difficulty 1. You can try and do it quickly, essentially halving the time it takes. And you can I'll make it difficulty 3. That's a couple of options you've got. I will also let you succeed at cost. So you'll be able to get into the car if you fail, but there will be a complication in the scene.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I think we should do a combo. This is Susie talking to Elsie, of both ideas. We should play this cool. We should walk up as if we own the car, but we should take our time, and we will act as though we are a couple, and we're having our usual morning conversation. We might be in the middle of a little tiff, a little small tiff, which will explain why we're standing outside this car for so long whilst I'm trying to get inside it, and why we might be sat inside a bit while I'm trying to get it started. Yep. What do you think?
Yep. Sounds perfect, like an argument. It could even be about losing the key or dropping something on the floor, so you bend, etc. So,
all right. Cool. So we will take our time and difficulty 1 it.
All right, cool. I like it. So, do you want to buy any dice? You've still got 1 momentum. You can, of course, give me any threat if you want.
I mean, my target number to roll under is 16, so I feel like we're pretty good on this one.
You just jinx it, but I would help.
I did.
So
Sean has set a good precedent, so hopefully you guys will do well.
Right.
I need to roll under 13.
Yep.
All right.
And Susie will need to get at least 1 success for Callum to add to your successes.
Yep. All right, let's go. Oh.
Nice. Is there a focus here? Because I guess in vehicles you've got 4 or 5.
I've got heavy vehicles and aircraft, and unless this is secretly a plane,
that's not it.
I think we're out of luck.
You could have picked a truck, huh?
I know, right?
There was no
But
truck.
a big truck is suspicious.
All right, you guys take your time. Callum. Sorry, you roll your 1d20.
Just 1.
Just 1 for assisting.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's just called 2d20. I'm so disappointed.
Relax, man.
8 success.
Okay, 1 more success. Fantastic. So that is 3 successes out of the 1 you needed. So with 2 momentum, you guys hop along to the car, take your time. George leads the argument and really goes to town on you vaguely understand possibly something about keys and you being stupid.
Panzerkretchen, eine Freunde sind in der Klasse, an der Schlossen, an der Haus, an der Kraftwerke.
Amazing. And there is another couple that are walking along the opposite side of the street, and as you're trying to open what I'm imagining somehow is parked on the left-hand side of the road in the opposite direction, because they drive on the right, and you're obviously going into what is in the UK the passenger side, so you're on the street and George is trying to cover for you actually in the road. You notice as you're being really deft, trying your coordination, you look up at this couple because you think, oh man, I've been rumbled here, and actually they just look really awkward and start walking a little bit quicker because
and I give him that I'm sorry face.
I'm imagining that that look that you give of oh shit, George is even worse stuff.
Yeah. And I'm just
Ein zerfließender Freundschaft von Hirten da. Wunderbar.
really awkward, and they go. So you're in this car now, and actually there's no one on the street at this point. So you're able to get in. You're able to actually just hotwire the thing. If you want to spend one of the momentum, I'll just let you just like get it going.
Yes,
Like,
I'm cool with that.
Essentially, just kind of like I'm kind of also in a way not this is any like a specific rule or anything. I'm just kind of applying your truth. So you can drive anything, right? So you can just get in and just kind of like, oh, it's one of these. Click, click. Here we go. Right. Make sure the choke is out at the right point and all that kind of stuff. So you got the car going and it's running. Did you want to move immediately? Did you want to? Because George, I imagine you get in.
Yep.
Yeah. Did you want to move immediately? Did you want to kind of move it away from where this is? Because obviously this is the kind of point of the crime.
Yeah,
or did you want to wait for the other guys or something?
No, we'll take it like a couple of streets away at least, and put it somewhere that's pretty difficult to see off the road if you're just glancing. So if there's like a little side street, we can just dip it into.
Yeah. You tuck into a side street, and you guys have sorted that out. Okay, cool. Constance is preparing her spells. So you're putting these essentially, and maybe this is a bit for people at home as well. You're putting them into your mantle, aren't you?
Yeah.
Which is essentially your kind of wizard staff or wand or something like that. But what is your mantle?
My mantle is a small kind of circular piece of parchment with a sigil drawn on it in red ink. And to prepare her spell, she basically sets up her little ritual setup and places her scrying mirror in front of her, and she stares into it as she uses the ink that she has to redraw the sigil, while just staring into the depths of this mirror. And I think I have to make a test for this if I have the thingy up.
Oh my! Let's check out the magic chapter. Binding a spell. Bound spells are prepared in advance of battle held in your mantle. Many spellcasters carry totems or other significant objects, and they can be held for as long as you remain conscious. Bound spells do not miscast if the spellcaster becomes unconscious. They have a number of uses. You can unleash a bound spell as many times as it has uses, after which the spell is expended and leaves your mantle. You can bear a number of bound spells equal to your power rating, and you can unleash any of them independently. So essentially it stores them up, and then you can fling them out as a test during combat.
So in Battlefield Magic is where it gives you the things. So it says, I can store a number of them equal to my power, which is 6. And to prepare them, it's a difficulty 0 skill test, taking a number of minutes equal to the combined difficulty of each of the spells being prepared. So that's 18 in total, because they're all difficulty 3, I think. Or my only spell is difficulty 3.
So I think that means difficulty 3. I say think because I edited the rules, but so I would say.
No, it says it's a difficulty 0 test, taking a number of minutes equal to the combined difficulty of each spell being prepared.
Sorry. It's the minutes.
So, it's like,
you're taking about 20 minutes.
About that, yeah.
Cool. So you are a researcher spellcaster, aren't you?
I am. So it'd be reason plus academia.
Cool.
So all this is really doing is like generating momentum, really.
Yeah.
So I will. Where is my reason academia?
I will even be generous and say that moving into the bookshop will not be a new scene. So you can store that up.
I didn't think they were lost between scenes. It's just once you're unconscious.
Momentum, though. Any momentum you get from this.
Oh, right. Okay, cool.
You lose momentum each scene. So.
Yes. Let's see. So academia and reasons. It's 14.
Oof.
I got 1. That's cool.
Okay. So you grab yourself a momentum.
Yeah. We have 2 now, guys.
There are some cheeky magical momentum spends I forgot here. So for each momentum spent, you can gain 2 courage.
How long does that last for?
Some spells have specific ways they can use momentum generator when casting, but there is also a number of common uses for momentum listed here. I'm going to have to add that to the cheat sheet, I think. So you can gain 2 courage, which is like your kind of mental armor for a momentum. for one other momentum, you could add. So you add challenge dice to your stress rating for the spell. That's normal. For 2 momentum, so a bit like if you want to change the time. So if you want to half the time something takes, or in this case, you can double the duration of the spell. That isn't an instant spell.
Mine is instant.
Yeah. But you can do that for 2 momentum. So when I was kind of doing the test about for you, Susie, earlier about the kind of you can go about it quickly for 3 difficulty. I was basically just kind of making that little bit of maths in my head and going, well, I'm putting the momentum into the test, as it were. So that's kind of what I'm.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. I also totally forgot to say at the top of the stream, by the way, we are going to play by what we were talking about last week because I was very inspired by that. So, fortune, you can just chuck at stuff. I'm not going to limit how much you can do it. I want to see if there is a case where at some point we go, that's balmy, let's stop. What was the other thing we said? So if you guys want to refresh your fortune back up to 3 for me, because then we can test it.
Yay.
Oh, yes. There we go, right? I swear there was something else that we talked about that I was like, I was going to do. I've written Spoopy Monster and other such things. No, okay, never mind then. I'll stop faffing. Right, cool. So you have prepped your spells. Anything else you need to do before that?
I would like to try and heal my injury because
right.
it kind of hurts. It's not.
It was about fatigue. That's right. Do you remember we talked this week about if you just play a scene about healing your fatigue, then we'll let that go as well.
Cool. But,
so you could roleplay your way out, basically. Not for injuries, though. I'm going to make you test.
No. How do I do that? Because if she's got her kind of ritual set up, she will probably try to kind of bind the injury. I imagine that she kind of got she got her shoulder caught or something. But we'll also do that while making a kind of invocation to a particular healing god or goddess. While in her kind of ritual space to kind of.
I'm going to make this. I'm going to make this will and medicine.
Okay. Well, and I don't mean medicine, but.
Okay. And I'm just going to check against the bottom of the action chapter that we've got up. Come on, Google Docs, load faster. So normally, physical injuries are normally with coordination and medicine. As you're invoking stuff, I am going to let you roll will and medicine.
Thanks.
I don't have a listed difficulty, actually. Oh, no, sorry, difficulty 2. So 1 injury will be difficulty 2. If you pass, it means that a single injury of your chosen type is treated, plus 1 additional injury for each 2 momentum you spend.
Does anyone mind if I give Sam some threat for this?
Do it.
Cool. Sam, I will give you 3 points of threat so that I can roll 4 dice.
Okay.
Because I don't have a medicine skill, so I've got to roll under 10.
I'm up to
Let's
6
see what
now.
happens.
Thanks.
Oh,
2 twos.
so close. Oh no, that is it. It's difficulty 2, right? Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and you've only got 1 injury.
I've only got 1 injury.
So you've healed back up. And we got 21 retweets. Yay!
Yay!
So no momentum from that roll, but you've healed that injury. So that is all good. I also should let you know, as a cool bit of rule stuff, that if you generate a complication while you're trying to heal injury, you get a scar. That is a character truth. That can either be something that happens to you physically or mentally. So it can mean some ongoing trauma, or it could mean a lasting injury for your character. And it's very difficult to get rid of. So, on with the show. We are, unless anyone really needs to do anything now, heading off to find the apothecary's shop. All right. What momentum are we on now? 2? Right, okay. I will... Shauna, if you want to lead this for me, you head off to the district that you think this is at. This is in a very kind of historic area towards the center, actually, of the town. And you are going to need to find this place. This is going to be just a difficulty 1 test, just to kind of recognize the place. I think it's going to be insight, and I'll let you decide between observation and academia with an art focus.
I will do the academia with the art focus. So that will be
Awesome.
15. 15 is the
Cool.
target.
Difficulty 1. Did you want anyone to assist you?
If anyone feels like it, or
Well, how could we assist you?
Observation, stealth to kind of hide your tracks, something like that. I'll let one person assist. Prue, why don't you have a go? You've not rolled any dice yet tonight.
I mean, I have threat awareness and leadership, so I can give a lot of positive reinforcement. Be like,
Give her a
so
pep
people-
talk.
You got any
Let me tell you
observation?
after.
You
Yeah.
got anything like? You got any skill you think applies, man? You reason it with me, and I'll see if it works.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Other than I'm literally trying to think of a way to create momentum with leadership, but it doesn't really vibe. I mean, I could just never mind.
I mean, I
Never
can
mind.
observe. I can help. I can observe.
Yeah, he's better suited for that anyway.
Cool. All right, George.
all right, multiple
So-
eyes and ears will help.
Yeah, 1 dice again. For you, but
Okay.
Shauna, you're rolling 2d20s. You can add more if you wish. We've got 2 momentum in the pool already.
I think we should be
Should I roll
okay.
first, right?
Yeah. What does that art focus on that 3 give you 2 successes?
Yes, I think so. I think I've yep.
So it's equal or under the skill rating.
Mhm.
Sweet. All right. So that's already 3 successes. George, let's try and max out this
Here we go.
this momentum pool.
Now.
No. Oh, all right. So let's add 2 momentum to the pool, and you have succeeded. Where's my text? So you do eventually find this little tucked away shop in a small side street. Have you guys taken the car nearby here? Yeah?
Yeah, we'll have little
Yeah.
cruise.
All right, so little cruise. The meager display of books in the shop's window are covered with a thick layer of dust and cobwebs. The windows themselves are equally filthy, with a faded watercolor poster. And the reason you recognize the shop is that you recognize a scene from Wolfram von Eichenberg's Parzival. It's a medieval style painting of a scene depicting King Arthur. And you recognize it because this has been in the British Museum before. It's been catalogued and it's just been kind of looked into. And it was this shop that it came from and was returned to. In this situation, it's probably an advertisement for the shop's wares, but it hangs askew in the window.
Cool.
What do you guys like to do?
Go in.
Let's go into the shop.
Okay. You guys all head on in. The interior of the shop is no more prepossessing than its exterior. Books are piled everywhere, on shelves, stools, on the floor. Many have slid into shapeless heaps that make navigating between the bookshelves a constant hazard to life and limb. The air is heavy with the smell of these kind of moldy tomes, and tobacco smoke lingers in your nostrils, and like unfamiliar herbs and concoctions, while strange paintings and objects dangle at uncomfortable angles around the crowded walls. There appears to be no one in the shop when you first enter, but the hollow clonk of the ancient decrepit bell above the door summons the proprietor from behind a threadbare curtain at the rear of the premises. His appearance is even more unpleasant than that of his emporium. He has watery, dark eyes set into a toad-like face, and they watch you malevolently, with malevolent interest, with an uncomfortable inspection as his eyes move between you and look you up and down.
Mr. Pretch?
Yeah?
Oh, this prize from the British Museum. We're here for work. We've had dealings with Mr. Ehrlichman, and we're wondering if you had any of his things here.
He walks up to you very slowly. It's impossible to say how tall he actually is because he walks with this hunch. As he steps around the side of the counter to walk up to you guys, he looks almost amphibious as this haunch he has around his stomach threatens to overwhelm his waistband, and each step he takes adds to his overall like frog-like appearance. His skin's sallow and bloodless, and his kind of abnormally long arms are wildly out of proportion with the rest of his body. He must be ancient, but his face itself doesn't show it. And his black, kind of damp gaze looks at you much closer now for a second, and just says, Ehrlichman.
Yes. The museum sent us down here to assist with him.
I did not think he was back in town.
Fortunately, he's probably never coming back into town. You haven't heard?
Heard what?
Passed away, unfortunately.
What happened?
Something about exposure. One of his expeditions seems to have gone wrong. The museum sent me here to help his little Jilla with her things. She believed had research that the museum is helping with.
You don't believe his cause of death? He just says, as a statement.
Unfortunately, no. Simple as it would be to believe that it was an expedition gone wrong, I believe there might be some foul play involved in it.
If there was some foul play, and he knew about it, he would surely have let me know. Is that why you are here?
Yes.
I'm afraid to say he did not let me know about it. Come, please.
I'll
And
take out the note and just kind of the coded note and just place it on the table.
He was just turning to invite you into the back of the shop, and as you pull out the note, he pauses and, with almost like a tongue, whips the note out of your hand and reads it and hands it back to you slowly.
Just grab it back.
Please, come with me. And he waddles you into the back of the shop, passing the mothballed curtain aside. You
Can
thought...
we read that? Oh, sorry.
So go on.
Can we read that guy at all? I mean, into his reactions, etc. Is he genuinely surprised? Does he seem to be truly sad that that quotation mark client had the early end to his life?
Would you like to spend a point of momentum on any one of those questions?
Oh, it's not a skill test?
I'm not making it one, no.
Okay. Yeah, well, it's up
Sean
to
is
the group,
nodding.
then. Okay, forget it, sorry.
Okay. Don't want to spend any?
I think it's.
I mean,
if you want to, yeah, that would be.
There's a question I would like to ask about him, but
oh,
Go
you
for it,
can
guys.
ask me
You can
for
al-
translations if you want. I can.
You can always
whisper
give me
the
threat too.
Sam, can I give you a point of threat? I want to know
Mhm.
because the statement of like you don't believe his cause of death is
Yeah.
like really odd.
Mhm.
I want to know is do I get a feeling that there is something more to him in the same way that there is something more to Constance?
Yes.
Like he is okay. Suspicious.
Anybody else?
Mm.
Got no
Yeah, give me a
questions,
threat. Take a
threat.
threat from me. I want to know if what's the vibe of this guy? Does I think he is dangerous? Is he trying to harm Sophia? That's my main concern.
You do not think he is dangerous.
Okay.
He gives off a very odd vibe, but you
Mhm.
don't think he's dangerous. As you walk
Okay,
into
my
the back of
hand
the shop,
Moves
go on.
away from my handgun.
Yeah, moves away from the kind of pulling at the jacket. As he invites you into the back of the shop, you thought the front of the shop was bad. The back of the shop seems to be made out of leaves from books. It's just piles of misshapen library copies. In the back, towards the back wall, is essentially what looks like a kind of like almost medieval, antiquated bench with coloured bottles, hanging herbs, a couple of squirrel heads in the corner, decapitated. Like there's just stuff around, like taxidermied owls and stuff looking down on you. This is like the Bates Motel meets, some bizarre fever dream library.
I shield Sherman's eyes as we walk through. I don't want him to see this. He's too young.
Oh.
He curls up and whimpers slightly in your arms as you take him up and cradle him. The smell in here of the herbs is ever more pungent, and it overwhelms you a little bit to the point of just having to either cover your face a bit, or you're succumbing to some nausea. He goes immediately to his bench. And begins to mix something. He begins to essentially grind something with a mortar and pestle. He picks some herbs off the top shelf. He also takes one of the squirrel heads and pops out the eyes. Constance, he is preparing something, most definitely. Well, you know if this is a poultice, if this is even the beginning of some kind of ritual, you're not sure yet, but he is preparing something. But he is basically, you may as well be flies on the wall at this point. He is just working. Is there anything you guys would like to do?
Can I, while his back is turned, look, there's still books in this room,
Yeah.
I want to kind of do that thing where you kind of awkwardly wander, but I want to see if there are any books on those shelves that I recognise to be either the mythos as I know it, or anything in terms of the occult, especially if it's about Norse mythology, or anything that
Sure.
looks spell-like.
You don't see anything that is Norse in origin. You do see a lot of rubbings, leaves from books that you can actually see in English, as well as German, on Aztec archaeology. You even see a few sheets of paper that, because I don't believe you speak it, are from ancient Aztec languages. So you get a hint of kind of some rubbings and some drawings and some markings down from research documents of that kind of thing. There's quite a lot of Spanish books here as well. Not in terms of nationality, but in terms of language too. George, you noticed that they are, to deal with strange topics, you could say occult topics, but not as we out of character would expect to be mythos related, specifically.
Stuff from the Inquisition or like that, or about exploration, rather.
There's certainly a couple of books on the Inquisition. There's definitely stuff on the move to the kind of New World and the Incan, Aztec kind of acquisition of gold and takeover of the area, that kind of thing. This is essentially a lot of history on that period, and also speculation and archaeology on the Aztecs and South America as well.
I'll get closer to Constance, and I will, in a very hushed manner as possible, tell her the titles in English.
I don't know what, if he's like me, I don't know what it is that he studies, unless it's to do with those herbs over there.
Any idea what he's doing? Is it just something to put on the letter?
Could be the start of a ritual, could be herbs to burn. Actually,
in that moment, he turns and he walks towards, set up strangely on a stool. He pops out a Bunsen burner, pops it on the stool, links it up to a little gas pipe he's got near his workstation, flicks it onto the safety flame. That's just the kind of yellow flame, the trickle. He then grabs the pestle. Is that the bit, the bowl? Cool. The bowl, and he opens. The
bowl is a mortar.
Thanks. He opens the hole in the Bunsen burner, and a harsh blue flame takes the place of the yellow, and he basically sprays this thing with the herb and animal concoction that he's ground down, and this putrid green and black smoke engulfs the ceiling in one little mushroom cloud as it whoops up. And he then drops the pestle and brings out a small thumb knife. And Prue, he stares at you.
I turn to Constance and I say, well, he's definitely not making schnitzels, huh?
No. Can I maybe roll either reason occultism or reason academics with either my occultism or history focus to see if I recognize this as a ritual?
You can definitely roll that with your occultist focus, yeah. Cool. This is going to be difficulty 2.
Difficulty 2.
Yeah.
I'll give you. Shall I give Sam some threat and try and figure this out? I'll give you. I like giving out threats. So Sam, have 3 points of threat. I'm going to roll 4 dice.
Okay.
Well,
I'm on 11 now. Oh.
Well, you know, the more threat he has, the more interesting it gets, right? So.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That is 1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
Cool.
So this is
so net yourself
3,
2.
isn't it? Momentum. Okay, so
difficulty 2. So you're giving yourself 2 momentum. So bag that for the group, or you could ask me some questions based off of this.
We've got 4. No, that's fine. 4. So we've got 6 momentum in total.
So you've maxed out the pool.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So you absolutely recognize this. You recognize this as I didn't write it down. You recognize this as essentially some kind of scrying ritual, but it is to do with more seeing the past or the future.
Okay, I have experienced Scryer as the truth. Will that help me in any way for like understanding it a bit better?
Absolutely, yeah. You know, well, from that then you know the ritual he's preparing, and it is essentially this. I didn't write down the title annoyingly, but it's basically some kind of clairvoyance. He wants to either see something in the future, or he wants to go back to a past event and witness it. He looks at you, Ward, and he says, "Please do not be afraid. If I do not know what Ehrlichman did with his research that he would have entrusted to me, then we must try and see where he put it. I only need a little bit of each of your blood."
I look at Constance like, I just kind of like, is this okay?
It's okay. It's a scrying ritual. I'll offer to help if I can in any way. Like, I have my ritual tools with me, so if he also wants to use my scrying mirror as part of this ritual, I'll offer that up for him to use, but I will also offer my hand out for the blood sacrifice.
Ward's been up at the front of the store, like maybe looking out a window or the front glass or something like that. Keeping an eye on the car, keeping an eye on doing. It's all he knows to do. I mean, he can't read anything in this room, so he's just kind of like has a book up, looking at it, but looking over it. And when he asked for like blood from Ward, and knowing that this is for some kind of magic, Ward like just turned like he flushes red, and it's like, well, I mean. You need blood. I'm sorry.
Just a little.
Captain, honestly, it's fine. You won't even feel it. Trust me.
I mean, I've heard, can't you do stuff with blood? I mean, does this need to really? Do we need to talk so loud about this?
It will be fine. Trust me.
He'll be okay.
I'll put like my hand on his shoulder and kind of walk him forward gently.
I'll just pat him on the back and go, "Come on, big strong army lad, you can do it."
Yeah.
See, Elsie's got the right idea.
But I was hit with a wild magic surge, and I'm just role playing it out. So he'll agree to go back there as long as nobody else is watching.
Okay. Cool.
And when he sits down,
right.
like he'll sit down with the proprietor of this place, and and Ward will just kind of say to him very low, he's like, "You're just going to take a little, right?"
Only a little.
All right. Because and he just kind of readjusts his jacket to reveal like the gun under his holster. He's like, "Because we don't need to take too much. All right."
Where we are going, we will not need guns.
What about roads?
Some roads. And he cuts your palm. And he flicks the blood on the Bunsen burner flame. I want you to take a point of stress for me. And he goes round everyone individually, unless you're going to resist. Makes a slight slit on your palm and flicks the blood into the Bunsen burner fire. Everyone take a point of stress for me. When he gets to you, finally, Constance, he looks you dead in the eye and says, "You know how to do this. You are involved. I will help you, but you will lead this ritual."
I will just hold my scrying mirror and I will do whatever it is that feels most natural for Constance to do. And I imagine if there's the burning of herbs, she will step closer to that so that it's almost like she can smell it and it kind of fills her.
You feel a damp hand on your shoulder as he pushes you further towards the Bunsen burner flame, and he guides your hand around so that the mirror is placed behind, in your vision, behind the Bunsen burner. So you are in fact looking through the flame into the scrying mirror. He positions people around Constance. And this is where I would like you to start the ritual. This is an extended test, ladies and gentlemen. Not only are we going to be rolling our d20s, we're going to be rolling some challenge dice as well. An extended test basically works exactly like a stress track would in combat. So there are 2 steps to this ritual, so we need to make 2 breakthroughs. We make breakthroughs if we do 5 stress or more to the thing at once, or if we fill up the stress track. And the stress track, V, is 10.
Okay.
The tests you're going to need to make are will plus observation, difficulty 2. We don't have a focus, but I'm going to let your occultism focus apply.
I also do have the truth experience scryer, if that helps with the difficulty at all.
So this will be difficulty 2. For you is going to be difficulty 1.
Yay.
You are going to lead the task, and everyone else is going to assist.
Okay.
So everyone else is going to roll 1d20 each. V, you're going to roll 2 as a base, and you have got 6 momentum, and you can give me threat as much as you like. Did you want to buy any extra dice?
I would, if everyone's okay with me spending some momentum. So I'm going to spend 3 momentum. So we have 3 left.
So you got 2 extra dice, right?
Extra dice, yeah. So this is difficulty 1, and my occultism focus applies.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
Awesome. So you've generated 3 momentum. So you generated that momentum back that you can spend on the ritual. Bear in mind your magic momentum spends we just talked about earlier. So you might want to add some challenge dice to this. I need you guys to let's resolve because we need to do the cost as well. As we're casting magic, there is a cost in challenge dice to people. But what we can do is, V, you don't have to take it on all yourself. So this is 3 challenge dice of mental stress. But we can spread it around the group as people assist you.
Okay. I mean, I can half that because of one of my talents whenever I have to pay the cost of a spell, so it should be okay.
Nice. I mean, I'll round it up to 2 because you're doing quite well at the moment. So we have to split 2 challenge dice around, essentially. Who wants to take on the cost?
I'm happy to take on the cost.
I can take on the cost.
Everybody wants to take on the cost.
We're all so goddamn noble.
Well, I'm from Texas, and I just can't stand to see someone in pain like that. No matter how
You got
embarrassing.
the challenge dice. You got the challenge dice. You got the
You all
challenge.
get a challenge dice. No, you don't all get a challenge dice.
So actually, sorry.
will
Let's
take
step
the
back for
cost on
1 second
myself.
because. Okay, you're going to take 1. Okay, so let's step back for just a second. Let's get everyone else to roll their 1d20 first. Yeah. Everyone roll me 1d20 apart from V.
Ooh.
Okay, guys, this is based off your will and observation. So let me know who got successes. Oh my god.
I got.
You got 2, yeah.
Yeah, nice. I got
Sure.
1 success.
Sure, that looks like 1. Sophia and Elsie, probably not. No? Okay, that's fine. All right. So as basically add 2 more momentum to your current thing. So if this is 2 momentum is now kind of 7 and 8, you're not going to be able to save these, so you might as well use them in this roll.
I'll
Because
just
otherwise,
need to roll the challenge dice when we
Cool.
roll to
All
add
right.
extra challenge dice.
all right. So Constance has a challenge dice of cost, and Ward, are you taking that on too, or Elsie, you were taking
Yeah.
that on?
Oh well.
Okay, first time around, because we're going to do this every time. I mean, it's probably going to be
Okay.
like once we do this ridiculously.
So,
but
sorry, what do the challenge dice do again?
so this is going to cause you some mental stress.
Okay.
There's no drain here, so it's not going to cause any fatigue, but it is going to cause you some mental stress. So, Prue, roll 1d6 for me. Let's see the result there. And V, if you can roll that for me too. So that is 1 point of mental
fudge
stress.
dice. Hold on.
Whoops.
There you go. 1 point.
1 point each. So unless you've got any courage resistance to ignore it, knock on a stress on your stress track for me.
No.
Okay, so V, what is your power?
6.
Okay, now I do just want to get this right. I apologize for faffing quite a bit in this one tonight, but let me just see. So I'm just looking at rituals.
Constance is quite proud of Captain Ward for offering to take some of that cost, because she knows he's not the biggest fan of all this weird hocus pocus stuff going on.
Yeah, he's not able to meet her eye contact during this.
Okay, you're going to roll a number of challenge dice, V, equal to your power. What's your power?
6.
6?
6. I have a talent and a high will.
You've got a talent.
Or high reason, whichever one. Sorry, yeah.
Sure.
And can I add extra challenge dice for those extra momentum?
Up to 3, yeah.
Up to 3, so that's 6, 7, 8. I might as well buy one more and just roll 9, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that would leave you with
Yeah.
That would leave you with 5 momentum.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Roll me 9
I think
challenge
this
dice.
is 9 dice. 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that 5?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, 5. Okay.
5.
Good job. That is 1 breakthrough. Okay.
Woohoo.
Everyone gets the same short-lived vision of dirt, soil, and digging in a late summer's night. Flashing a glance at this person's face is a mustached man with spectacles, clutching at a leather-bound journal. His glass is steaming from the sweat on his face as a close-up of it drips down his forehead from the digging. He's at a large tomb. An imposing figure of a giant bust of a man looms over him in the darkness, looking down on all of you. And then in an instant, as a rush of wind comes over your body, you are back in the apothecary shop. We're going to make a second roll. So Constance, you're leading this again.
She's just gonna take a moment to make sure that she hears everyone's okay, no one's panicking, and
well, with the momentum or anything, did you want to ask me any questions? Did you want to apply any kind of dramatic effects to this by trying to use the momentum?
I will give you a point of threat to see if I can recognize anything on that journal. Has it got an inscription on the front? Some strange lettering? I do have a linguistics focus, if that's helpful.
It doesn't have any writing on the outside, but you do get a sense that it's I mean, as well as the marble. As you're looking back, you are trying to focus more and stay with, when you're trying to stay with a dream sometimes, you are trying to stay with this vision of what undisputably to you feels like the past. It's kind of, you've got this thing of marble, and that's all you can focus on right now. But then you get back to this battered notebook, held shut with this frayed piece of black elastic, and then a rustle as it's piled up inside a little package, a little oilskin parcel, tied up with several lengths, being tied up with several lengths of coarse brown string. There's a dog bark behind you, and suddenly you're back in the shop,
Okay.
and we're back to the second test. No one else hit the bark, by the way. Bit of drama.
Okay.
So we're up for the same test, basically.
Yeah. In which case, I will spend some more momentum to roll 4 dice again. What does everyone think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yep. Go. I mean,
What does that
Cool.
pop you down to then on momentum?
Down to 1. But
Awesome.
hopefully
Cool.
we'll get some back.
Right. I'm on 12 threat at the moment.
So that is 1, 2, 3 successes.
Awesome. So that's 2 momentum there for you.
Oh, sorry. We're at momentum 3. And then the
And-
cost again.
Well, everyone else can roll their 1d20 now
Oh, yeah.
as the assist. This is will and observation, guys. Any occult focus might apply.
Oh!
Hey,
oh no.
I am making a note of that complication.
Oh.
Providing we don't need another test, we don't get another complication. This is this could miscast essentially, and we could get kind of a bad outcome to this.
Oh no.
We buy it off.
Pruitt, you could. Well, it will still count against it. But Pruitt, do you want to buy it off? Essentially, what I'm thinking is that you're going to freak out just at this moment. Unless you want to buy it off by giving me a couple of threat.
Yeah, Ward is about to freak out, but then he remembers something his mom told him a long time ago about the proper way to treat people. That might be different. Don't treat them any different, and that's fine. And so he's going to try to keep his shit together. And I'm basically invoking one of my truths to do this. I don't know if that matters, but yeah, you can go ahead and have some threat.
No, I think that's great, man. I love it.
Mhm.
So yeah, two more threat for me, making 14 total just now. Okay. So Elsie, was that another success? No.
No.
Oh, what's your will?
It's 6.
Oh no.
And I have
dump
none in
stat.
observation.
Dump
Yeah.
stat. Okay. So unless Sophia got something with the 16. No. Okay, we're at your
No.
3 successes. I
That's
think,
also
then,
my
aren't
dump
we?
stat.
Oh god.
We're both
People.
Look, I'm really good at driving cars. That's it.
Just give me the driving cars bit.
Just give me
I'm
the
good
cars.
at the pew pew. Pew pew.
I'm looking at the
Wait.
research, not with the weird.
With fortune, we can reroll that.
Yes, you can.
Oh, that's right.
I'm gonna use one fortune to
I
reroll
forgot about
mine.
that mechanic.
It's all
You know
right.
what? That's fine.
Do you
I'm
want
gonna
to
reroll.
Do you want to retcon it, Prue?
No, we're good.
All right.
That was a cool scene.
Yeah.
But I will definitely go reroll mine. So here
Go
we
for it.
go. Yes.
4 successes means 3 momentum.
Yeah.
So that's 1 more. Momentum is at 4 now. So how many challenge dice do you want to roll? They're 1 each.
I guess the 1 each. I guess I'll just roll an extra 3 because my power's already 6, so that's 9 in total.
Cool. All right.
And just hope for the best. Do we have to pay the
Yeah.
cost first? Do you want us to do that?
Yes, please. You need to split 2 challenge dice. Who wants to take them? George
I will take 1.
and Elsie. You can split it across the 2 of them if you want.
No,
Yeah, we'll have-
Constance wouldn't like to do that. She'll very much take it upon herself that she is casting the ritual.
Stop
Come
being so
on.
bloody British, woman.
Elsie, why don't you take one on as well?
I'll take one.
All right.
Okay.
So am I
Um,
taking one? What's going on?
No,
No,
so
you're-
Elsie
you're
and
okay.
Constance taking stress on. So that's 1 stress each. No, so
1.
sorry. Roll the challenge dice.
I've got 1.
So you've got 1. So Elsie, you need to roll just 1d6 for me. You take 2 of mental
course.
stress.
Classic.
As you are
Thanks, Pruitt.
As you are transported from this shop into the past and back again.
And
Just
then I will.
takes its toll.
And here come 9 challenge dice.
1, 3, 5, 7, 8. Okay,
Every single one of those.
I'm just going to stop counting because, yeah, every single one of those scored.
Nice.
13. 13.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
You get a clear vision now. You see this man wrap this journal into the oilskin parcel. A dog barks in the distance. He turns for a moment and then focuses back on what he's doing and drops his parcel into the soil, but not into a grave. That's wrong. And as you search again, you see it's a soil bed underneath a yew tree. And he begins to cover up the parcel and the hole that he's dug. Reaching out to grasp for a place, you see the figure of the bust of a man looking down on you, a stone man, and he speaks to all of you. The state of chaos and decay. And the waltz Vienna Blood by Johann Strauss plays in the distance of the graveyard. And you awaken slowly back in the bookshop.
What just happened?
God.
What does that mean?
Oh,
Pretch breaks the circle, walks up to you, Constance, puts another soggy hand on your shoulder and just says, "What you saw was for you, and for you alone. I did not see anything. This parcel, wherever he put his research, it is not for me."
Do you know of anywhere around here where we might find a yew tree?
The yew trees are common here.
Somewhere
In many
near
gardens.
somewhere near a large stone bust of somebody. Like a graveyard, but not a graveyard.
There are several graveyards in the city. Some sport yew trees.
Do the words state of chaos and decay mean anything to you?
Do they mean anything to you? And he looks at Sophia.
Can I make a check? See
Yeah.
if I can think of something.
You could just pay me 1 momentum if you wanted instead.
Yes, let's do it.
Okay. So spend a momentum. The state, academically, scientifically, the state of chaos and decay is entropy.
Mm-hmm. What's interesting? You just hear alert. See it. So, entropy. This is there anything here? Oh, that's curious. What does that mean? What does that mean?
I could offer you a question for a point of threat.
Sure, why not? Yes.
Don't shake your head too much, V. Your hair will fall out.
It's
So that's-
doing all right for now.
It is. So we are up to 15 threat, and you search through your academic study in your mind, some of your schooling as well. The state of chaos and decay is entropy, and your mind makes the mental leap that the man who theorized and led the research on entropy is Ludwig Boltzmann. He is buried here in Vienna.
Okay. Okay. It might be. It might be at Boltzmann's grave. I think it's in the city.
We should go, and quickly.
We need to do it fast.
I
I
don't
need
want
to
to
see what's in
stay
the journal.
more.
Are you all right? Is everyone all right? That was.
Let's go. Let's leave this place.
Mm-hmm. Elsie's pale and clutching Sherman a
Ward's
bit.
already out the door. Like, she's outside right now.
Constance will turn to the weird, slightly creepy man and just look at him and say, thank you for the sight. And she'll collect her scrying mirror and rush out.
And he's left stood at the curtained back door, watching you all leave the shop. And as you hear the kind of dull clang of the bell as you close the door, Vienna is a summer's day street, and people are just walking by normally. Life resumes here.
Elsie, how quickly can you get us to that graveyard?
It depends. Do you want to go legally, or if not,
Legally?
I have been told I've got a lead foot.
Well, let's say if
we're
you drive
already driving
casual,
illegally.
There was like
drive
3
casual.
voices.
sorry.
Okay, as fast as I can legally. All right, I can do that. Do we have a map? Or some sort of directions, because otherwise we might get a little bit lost.
Sophia, you've got a guidebook,
Yeah.
don't you?
Yes, I can give you directions as we go.
Okay,
Cool.
you come up front. You are Sherman's seat. I apologize. He's molting, but it's a bit warm. Sorry, Cap, you're in the back.
Right.
Okay. You guys head further out of town than you'd actually like. But on the outskirts, in the southeast of the city centre, in the Simmering district, out beyond the Ringstrasse, is the largest of Vienna's numerous cemeteries. Sophia, you read in your guidebook. It's the final resting place of some of the more notable of Austria's residents and citizens. It includes Ludwig van Beethoven, Johann Strauss, Gustav Klimt. And obviously, it is home now to one of the pioneers of 19th century physics. Interred lies here Ludwig Boltzmann, whose tomb holds particular attention for you. The Zentralfriedhof is so the graveyard here is actually fairly busy and is essentially a tourist attraction. People here visit the large epitaphs, graves, monuments dedicated to these people, and Vienna has a reputation for these kind of over-the-top burial sites for people. It's a kind of morbid fascination with visiting the graves, the remains of great people who existed in this city. Well, I mean, with such greats as those like named, it's no surprise. It doesn't take you long to find Boltzmann's grave. He's not far from the likes of Strauss and Beethoven, but it is the middle of the day, and you guys are essentially in plain daylight, and there is a crowd around here. It's going to be very difficult right now to be able to start digging stuff up without people asking.
Yeah, but we can go scout this out. At least see if we can find the spot in which it was dug, some fresh earth.
Mhm.
Check entrances, exits, things like that.
Cool. All right. So if you want to lead the test then, Ward, you'll be rolling your base 2d20. I reckon like something like tactics or observation or something like that, just so that you can case the area, essentially, I think.
I guess threat awareness is mostly for fighting, right?
Yeah, do you want to read it for me quickly? We can have a little search
think I
here.
have. I don't think I. Hang on.
Threat awareness covers the readiness detecting danger when in hostile territory and the ability to avoid attacks and ambushes. Do you know what? I can give you that, and I'll give you specific information as this is your focus for kind of if you were ambushed and stuff, like where they would come from and such.
Mm-hmm.
I think that applies quite nicely.
Okay.
That's fine.
So would that be insight and fighting then, maybe?
Yeah,
kind of.
I'm cool with that. Yeah.
Okay.
So you're using that to your advantage to figure out who might kind of ambush you and stuff. I'll let a couple of people assist here. So 2 people if they want to speak up. Use observation.
I'm thinking George,
like
definitely.
Observation. Okay, I think
I mean, this is
I
his
can.
ballpark,
as well.
also.
Cool. All right. So Sophia, George, you'll each be rolling 1d20 for me. Captain Ward, you're on 2d20. This is difficulty 1 to start off
Okay.
with. As
So
you've
I'm
reached
trying-
this kind of large grave, the monument to Boltzmann is essentially a good 6-7 foot high before you even reach the oversized bust of the man. So it's this big, grandiose kind of graveyard. There is a yew tree in front of either side of the gravesite, each with dirt around, as you might expect, cut grass around as a little circle. So there is that kind of soil bed around there. Did you want to add any d20s to your roll?
Well,
You could even
my
use
target
fortune
number-
to set 1 to a 1.
Yeah. I think I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and use a fortune point to set a 1.
Cool. So you've got a 1 already, so essentially you won't be rolling that die. And then you'll be rolling another d20, unless you want to buy any more, in which case we can roll some more.
No, I'm good. I'll just roll one more. So my number's 13, and it is my focus. So anything below a 5 is also a 1. So that's 4 right there. 4 successes.
Oh man, I wasn't even paying attention. I was trying to give my love to the cat. Okay, wow. So, Sophia, Georges, please roll your 1d20 for me. Let me know if there are any successes there.
What was the attribute?
So the attribute is probably insight, unless you want to try
Okay.
and figure something else out for me and kind of argue the case.
Okay.
One success here.
Did you get a success, Sophia?
Success.
Amazing.
6.
Me too.
6 successes, 5 momentum. Boom. What we at before? Okay, so we'd hit 0 before, so we've got 5 now that you can either use to ask questions or save for the bank. Boltzmann's tomb is essentially that kind of perfect ambush site. It is out in the middle of nowhere. Unfortunately, whatever Oakman did, he did not pick a great location. There's a couple of sweet kind of hedgerows around to the left-hand side as you look at it, so that people can get behind, can hide behind. It's fairly central to the graveyard as well, so that means that trying to kind of egress from the area is going to be really difficult as well. And essentially means that people have good eyes on this area.
Mm-hmm.
I could offer you up some obtain information spends if you wanted to spend any momentum. Ask me questions.
Anyone?
Well, I was
George, I'd let
thinking
you
about-
ask because this is part of the assisted test. So, yeah.
Mind if I ask a question?
Yeah, go for it.
I'd like to know, you said it was a good place for an ambush. I'd like to know where is the best spot for myself to ambush people within that space.
Cool. Although they're slightly smaller, there are a couple of like grave sites, epitaphs behind you that you can essentially kind of like secrete yourself in, that people wouldn't immediately suspect you were there, and you'd be within medium range of the kind of the area around the of Boltzmann's grave, so it would give you a good little vantage point to use.
I get there with El Tigre. So I got my rifle with me.
Sure. All right, that was one question. Any other questions from you, Pruitt, about the scene, about the graveyard, based on the test?
Yeah. So, in and around this graveyard, are there any buildings or anything like that, structures that give elevation just outside the graveyard, like maybe where a sniper might post up or something like that?
No. This is fairly kind of very low undulating, but kind of just basically kind of flat land. Been, it's obviously been very heavily landscaped and grown over time, for the last couple of centuries, I would imagine, not knowing much actual historical info about the place. But I imagine it is basically very well kept, and so there's not say a kind of tomb or anything that you could then kind of get up on top of around the area. It's all more or less these kind of large constructed, almost monuments for people, rather than and I'm forgetting the word, but the kind of the tomb, the mausoleums that you would like go into. There's essentially kind of none of those around the area either. It's these kind of just massive erected kind of graveyard, gravestone type things.
Cool.
Sam, do I remember from that the kind of weird vision thing, how deep he buried it? Was he like digging really, really deep, or was it just like a quick shovel out some stuff, throw it in, and cover it over?
Spend momentum, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
This is essentially a fairly shallow hole. It's probably no deeper than a foot.
So, folks, sorry, Virginia, you wanted to
say if it's loose soil, because you said it was like a soil bed, so like where they plant flowers or stuff like that.
Yeah, there are no flowers planted right now, because they are just they're kind of well kept soil beds for the trees. So like you would kind of garden and landscape it, there's a nice neat trimmed circle of grass then goes out into the lawn, and then you've got the tree planted in the middle of the circle of soil.
We could just go, and if it's not that deep, we could just shovel it out by hand if that soil's soft, which it should be.
Okay.
It'll take 2 minutes.
We have the perfect cover. We have Sherman.
The dog. Yes.
The dog.
Just a quick question regarding we got momentum and we got this place a bit sorted, or at least we got a bit of time. I was wondering if we should spend 2 momentums to create a truth about that scene.
Nice.
Yes.
We haven't been doing that, and that sounds quite cool, rather than spend one. So, anyone's got a good idea of a truth we could apply to here?
Could we maybe have it that like, if this is like a popular touristy kind of place, that the current tourists that are there with like a kind of group, and they're led away from this area, so that we get some time with like no one around for a bit.
Or we could make it like start raining, maybe a truth that it's raining. That would drive people away.
It's got to be something that you guys can affect. So the kind of environmental stuff is more.
Can we start doing a rain dance?
Gotcha.
To draw the rain.
No. But just
could it be something like we got the place covered or something like that, because we distribute ourselves around the space, we don't get all in. I'm on my overlooking position.
Yeah.
I identified earlier. I don't know. So we got this.
You can absolutely call it that, something like we've got it covered, and that just evokes, I think, for me, but anyway, that kind of sense of, not getting being on the back foot, or like, any threat of an ambush or something. It's going to be easier to see and stuff like that. So. Yeah.
Maybe we also park the car in a place we know where it is and how to get there somewhat fast.
Oh,
so we got it sorted. It's sorted.
Yeah, nice. We've got it covered. Yeah, I like to think that I would. That's the little title on the little card that I would write on the table.
Yes.
Cool. All right. What is the plan then, guys? Are we going to try and make a grab for it in the day, or are we going to wait?
Thing is, if we're here now and somebody has been following us or watching us, they might go for it.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's worth one of us and maybe Tetley just...
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah, right now seems like good before too many people arrive.
Okay.
Carpe diem.
I think, I think I am going to therefore ask Tetley to do the roll.
Oh, Telly, come on, buddy.
Okay, let me get his stats. What are we rolling for him?
We got one momentum left for him.
I don't know. So let me have a little ganders here.
Can I assist if I go over and kind of pat the spot that he needs to start digging in, if I can remember where that is? Just there, Tetley, there.
Dig. It's okay. You can dig there.
Yeah, you can. This is going to be will and whatever animal handling comes under survival. That's it.
Survival.
Under survival.
Okay.
I
Will
have
and
that.
survival as the assist die from Constance, as she's the one who walks up and tries to pat the soil. For little old Tetley, this is going to be brawn and survival.
Okay.
This would be difficulty 1. I am going to increase it to difficulty 2, just because I think he, as a corgi, should definitely have a truth called small.
Yes, he should, because he is. He's small.
Oh,
He is a
He's
small
only got
dog.
little stubs. Okay. So let's go.
You gonna buy some dice for Tetley?
How much momentum we got?
Not massive amounts. 3.
How about we
Three.
just buy 1 extra? 3 dice for the little Tetley.
sounds good.
Can we assist him?
Constance is. I'm just going to allow 1 assist.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay, let's go. He has to get 11 and let's go, Tetley. That ain't it.
Oh no.
Oh, I can.
Oof.
I mean, I
Can
can
you
give
use
Tetley
fortune to
a
reroll?
fortune point.
Fortune.
Can you use fortune to reroll?
I'm gonna give him one of my fortune points because I
Oh,
have.
yes.
Could you donate?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And I just I'm basically gonna go down and kind of in the dirt where we're trying to get him to dig. Me giving him the fortune point is I'm just gonna kind of carve a small little hole because these corgis like to get down and get moles and stuff like that, and just kind of give him a starting point.
Yeah.
And that's hopefully that's me giving him a fortune point.
Okay,
Alright.
so using a fortune to reroll means I can reroll as many of those as I need, right?
As you like, yeah.
Okay, so I'll reroll 2 of them because we already got 1 success.
Cool.
Come on, Telly. Telly, come on. Oh no, Telly. Telly, no.
Oh, he's
Okay.
the worst dog in the world.
The journal is actually a landmine.
I
We
roll my
asked-
assist.
Oh yeah, Telly. Oh no.
The assist is a success.
Okay. Tetley doesn't really do the work, but he covers for you. And as he looks a little confused up at you and then kind of digs a bit and potters around, it just gives you a chance to kick away the dirt. And after a while, you just get in there because you're like, nah, fuck this. And you pull out this wrapper, and turning around, you see And George, actually, in your corner, you are the first person to see this as you're aiming towards the tree. The corner of your eye, you see a guy pull a Walther PPK from the central kind of walkway, paved area. Do you want to shoot?
I mean, how far he is? Because I got my rifle, but I also have my pistol with the silencer. So if
They
he's at
are
close
long range to you.
not even medium, long.
No, long range to you.
But they are
You step further back from the graveyard area, and these guys are a little bit further down the street, and they're essentially about to advance on the guys at the yew tree.
Okay. Well, I will. What I'll do then is that I will shadow them, and as soon as I'm close enough, as soon as I'm at medium range, I will shoot them.
Okay.
I didn't realize I was out of the cemetery. Sorry.
No, that's okay. I, made it up because I'm the GM. But so you guys are startled by. So I imagine what the case is. Let's just make ourselves pure on like what the positions are. So I imagine Constance is definitely with Tetley down at this yew tree. Sophia, I imagine you're with them too.
Mhm.
Elsie, you're going to have to have been close by at most medium range to kind of send Tetley off to do this thing. So unless you guys protest, I'm going to put everyone in the kind of essentially like a zone in around the graveyard area. And then Georges, you're a couple back from that, having secreted yourself in that nest. Otherwise, now you're walking around, aren't you, to try and trail this guy?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I don't want to waste too much. I don't want them to notice me, but my goal is that they are within my range before my friends are at their range.
Sure.
Is what I mean.
Well, so what happens is we have like optimal ranges with 2d20 rather than like kind of exhaustive ranges, if that makes sense. So it's not necessarily that you can't actually hit these guys. It's just with a pistol that says close range. Say if you get into medium range, it's just one step more difficult for you to hit them.
Well, I guess what I'll do, it's not like I can progress while aiming, but if I see that they are aiming, I will shoot them even if it's not ideal. If you see what I mean.
Alright.
I guess they need to aim before shoot, so I will see it if they attempt to shoot my friend, and I want to shoot first.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what I'll do is I'll give you the chance to kind of step out from the side of the graveyard bit that you're in, walk around behind them, and basically you can be shadowing them at kind of like medium range from where you are. You will have to leave the rifle out the graveyard though, unless you want, because you want this kind of silenced pistol with you, right? Because you've got that silenced pistol. Presumably that's what you're using. Unless you're walking into broad daylight with a rifle pointed at some guy.
Can I leave the rifle at the car?
If you spend a fortune point, you can.
Yeah, I will, because it's a personal belonging.
Cool. All right.
It's
illegally. You have left the rifle at the car. That's fine. So you are now shadowing this guy at medium range.
Yeah.
All of you at the yew tree and the graveyard, you are startled by essentially now, as you look around you, 3 tall individuals. Elsie, Constance, Sophia, you recognize them immediately as the 3 men watching you from the book club. There is the guy who likes dogs, and he actually fires a single shot from his Walther PPK into the air, and there is a scream from people around, and he shouts in German, "The police! Stop!" And he points the gun at you guys as 2 of his larger, beefier thugs start converging on your location. People dash out of the way, run. What would you guys like to do as they advance on your position?
Constance is going to slip her mantle from where she keeps it tucked in like the sleeve of her long dress, and she's just going to wait until they are close enough for her to launch her spell out. And I don't know who has the book, but if Constance has it, she's going to clutch it. Constance is, if she's got the book, she's going to clutch it to her chest while holding her mantle in the other hand.
Okay. All right.
As soon as they're close enough, she's gonna.
So
Okay.
What sort of the distances and people doing? I mean, what's the course of events here? Can stuff be interrupted? Can the guys? I mean, how close are the guys? How close am I?
I'm gonna narrate a bit, and then essentially, well, let me show off my bit first.
Sorry.
And then we'll crack on. I'm in narration mode now. So the guy who that likes dogs, because I don't think I ever gave you his name.
Don't want to know
No?
his name.
Cool.
No.
The guy who likes dogs. Kind of advances on you, but still keeps his distance, so he is still within medium range. And he says, "Hands! I want to see your hands." And you guys are all presumably clutching, reaching. He shouts, "I will not ask again!" And he projects his palm out towards you. You see, just in a second, this little device kind of coiled around his palm, and this little kind of metallic little machine with a blue circle that's glowing in the center. A little wire coiled up goes through down into his arm and into his shirt towards his belt. As he does that, your arms are flung by force away from where you're trying to reach from. I'm going to spend 3 threat to knock each of you over prone. As
Is
this thing.
a spell being cast?
No.
Okay.
And he pushes you over with this like force push. Georges, what would you like to do?
I want to. So does this guy? Can I see what you just described with a hand from where I am?
You can see it from behind. He says, "I will not ask again." He pushes his hand out, and people just like go flying.
Okay. Am I close enough to walk behind him and stuck a gun like between his shoulders?
Okay. As your turn, yeah, absolutely. You walk up behind him and you put a gun to his head. And what do you say?
I say, this is Abwehr am Gruppe Russland, foreign intelligence German from the Reich. What is this? What is happening? I was visiting a local graveyard. You don't look like officials.
He just turns to just so you
Don't
can
move.
get a little bit of his mouth, and he says, "None of your fucking business." And as he says that, okay, as you do that, he drops a canister on the floor, and this green gas spurts out at ground level around the graveyards. Violently moving quickly, covering ground you wouldn't thought possible of like a normal gas or kind of mustard gas. You can thank Jordan for this one, because this is the spoopy monster for this week. And I want you to make an attack for me.
Yep. So
At this close range, I am going to make this an opposed check. So I am going to roll as well. I'm rolling 2d20 to start off with. I'm going to spend 1 threat to roll 3 dice. What would you like to improve your roll to?
So that's coordination.
You are going to be coordination and fighting. I'm going to be agility and fighting.
Okay, I'm gonna spend 1 fortune to have a 1.
Okay, so
That's
you've
how
got 2
it
successes already. Yep.
2 successes already. And do we have any momentum left? Should I spend some? We got 1 momentum left, am I right? 3. Should I spend 3? Oh. Yes, okay. Okay, so that's 5 dice. No, I had to roll 4 dice because my first dice is a 1.
Yeah.
Right. Okay,
Go for
here
it.
we go. Okay, that's a single success plus my 2 success. So that's 3 success.
Okay, just checking him out. I get 2 successes. So you have beaten me by 1, so you get 1 momentum. And you get to make your stress roll.
Mm-hmm. So the stress roll, it's based on my beautiful ruby. Ruby stress 3 dice. It's not impaired by the silencer, right?
No.
Cool. 3 stress dice. Here we go.
So 2 stress onto him then. So not enough to give him an injury. He actually manages to just dodge out the way as you fire the pistol shot into the air, but he is stumbling away from you, and there's basically a bit of a push from both of you as you try and get away from each other, but he obviously is a bit shaken. So this is the other thing I was going to do this week that we've talked about. When it comes to initiative, we're not going to worry too much about going well, now it's your guys' turn, who wants to go next? We are going to hand off to one other character. So Georges, would you like to spend 2 momentum to keep the initiative and pass it to one of your own team, or would you like to select an enemy NPC to go next? If so, which one?
The other
We
2.
only have 1 momentum, right?
Yeah, I think so. No, we got 1 momentum, so that's out of question.
pay it
So
in
I'm good. Yeah. The other thugs, they are not armed, are they?
They are, yeah.
They are. They got their weapons drawn.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, well, I'll spend 1 threat and 1 momentum, and I will give the initiative to our good captain.
Okay. What goes next?
So you said our arms were kind of thrown to the side. Is that still the case after we get thrown prone? Can we move freely?
No, it's basic. You are free to move now. It's like someone just pulled your arms apart and then let you go. So it's that typical kind of force push thing rather than a kind of a hold.
So basically, Ward is as he kind of goes prone, is just kind of gonna roll with it, and as he's rolling, pull his gun out and pop up. Do I have a clear line of sight on that dude's whatever that was on his hand from where he is right now?
Not directly to his hand any longer, because he's essentially now, I'm imagining, got his back to you. You are looking at Georges, who is facing you now from this scene. From your perspective, you've got a good shot on his center body mass from behind, but not from the arms, as he's pulled out of this struggle with Georges, and his arms are just going about quite chaotically.
Gotcha. Well, I'm going to try to put one in his back, definitely. So if I can aim as a minor action still, is that fine?
Yeah, I'll let you do that.
Then I'm going to aim center body mass and let her fly.
Sorry, just a quick question. Wouldn't have the truth we set applied somehow? No actions? We got this covered?
Yeah. I will take away that. Sorry, I forgot about that. I will take away the threat you needed to keep the initiative. Actually, do you know what? Yeah. So take your momentum back. I'll go back down to 11 threat. And I'm stealing this from the Trek, but whatever. For the remainder of this first round, keeping the initiative for you guys is free.
Okay.
All right.
Awesome. Well, I'm a sharpshooter, so because I took the aim action, my first die cost is free. So I'm rolling 3d20. What's my target? How many do I need? How many successes?
2 successes.
Okay, so I'm rolling 3d20. This is coordination and fighting with focus and handguns, so I need a 15. And yep, so it's gonna be 3d20. Oh my god! So
The curse.
also because I took the aim action, my gun is accurate. I can re-roll any number of those dice. So
fair.
I'm going to re-roll the 20 and the 16 because the 12 is already a success.
Okay.
So there you go. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
Nice.
As
So
I just kind of pop up and just I'm going to fire off one shot right in his back.
Cool. So you got 2 momentum.
Awesome.
Remember to check out the crib sheet for the momentum spends that you can have in combat. So, I mean, you could, if you wanted to, create a truth out of that with your 2 momentum, or you could buy yourself maybe a couple of extra stress challenge dice to roll for the stress rating.
Can we create ourselves a way out? Because that could be an interesting truth.
I think you've got this way out through thanks to the truth from before. You've essentially, I'm not gonna impede your ability to leave the scene if you need to.
Actually, what I'm going to do, because I think our compatriots are going to need this, I'm not going to touch that momentum right now because I'm just going to do my character as is. So,
Okay.
So I'm rolling 4 challenge dice. Oh wait, I didn't do a salvo action. Never mind. All right.
Would you like to?
Actually, yes. Screw it.
Okay.
I am going to do that.
So
now,
so weapons come with 3 ammo.
Mhm.
You spent an ammo in the last kind of combat scene, action scene. So I'm gonna say, I don't know the laws, but in Vienna, covertly, you're not gonna be able to have replenished that ammo.
Well, here's the thing: is I came with an extra ammo belt with an
Ooh,
extra
all right.
3 ammo.
So you
that
started
was
with
in
6,
my luggage. Yeah.
gone down to 5, and now this will go down to 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right.
So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So now it becomes vicious. So hopefully I'll get some effects because that's extra stress. So I'm rolling 46. Oh, that's a shit roll.
That's 4.
It's not terrible. That's 4. That's 4. Never mind. That's pretty good.
Yep. All right. You unload a clip towards this guy. Pistols aren't amazingly accurate. People might be surprised, but so you unload a good few shots towards this guy. One of them flexes his right shoulder, and George, you can see the bullet impact. He yelps as it does so. Okay, Prue, who would you like? Which NPC would you like to go next? None of these guys have acted yet. So.
I hate to give it to the guy who I just shot. I'll give it to one of his stooges. The guy on the right.
Okay, the guy on the right is behind you. He's medium away. I am going to move him into close range with all of you guys. So V, that's because you were talking earlier about being in the area. So he is within that area. He walks up to, he walks up towards you, Pruitt, and I am going to make a little gun check here. Formation and fighting. spend one to get a dice. Spend another one, fuck it. Another 2 for that. So I'm down to 8 threat. Rolling 4 dice. Hoping for some 3s. No. But I get the 1, 2, 3 successes I needed. So this is going to be as well. The PPK is going to fire 4 challenge dice at you, and with that extra success, going to get myself a 5th dice. And this, oh man, it didn't land properly. I'm going to try that again. 1, 2 stress onto you, Ward.
Okay.
As he fires a shot towards you, narrowly missing your knee into the soil. I am going to pass over to Elsie. What are you doing?
So rummaging the handbag, pulling out the Browning. I'm gonna. Also, I'm on the floor right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Shoot.
Another minor action to get up. That'll cost you momentum.
What if I shot from the floor?
Yep. I'll let you roll over
works
for free.
Snipers, yeah.
I'll let you roll over for free.
Yeah, okay. I'll roll over and go ahead.
Any training you've had is probably going to be at a firing range, and you're probably going to have been prone for that too. So
yeah,
this
you
is
do prone shooting.
fairly natural.
Granted, it's usually with a rifle, not a pistol,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna, as a personal grudge, because I just did not like that man, I'm gonna shoot at the I like dogs guy.
Yeah. Cool. All
I
right.
did it seemed mildly threatening to my dog, and I'm not gonna stand for that.
Did you spend any ammo before on the last action scene?
1.
1, yeah. So you've got
Spent
2
ammo.
ammo left for the
I've
adventure
got
at the
2
moment.
ammo, yes. Can we retcon and say that I brought my trench knife with me too? Just in case.
Sure.
Cool. All right, that's in the
Sure.
handbag too. It's Mary Poppins handbag. It's pulled.
Big one
We'll
on the
go with
inside.
it.
Yeah.
So I have a question about using your fortune to set a dice for 1. Do you have to
Mhm.
do that before you do your roll, or can you do that
Yes.
afterwards? Okay.
Before you roll.
I'm going to do it before I roll.
Cool. All right. You got 2 successes on your presumably range attack with your pistol,
Yes.
with your Browning, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that is already a hit. If you want to roll the other dice for me, even if you want to buy more dice to roll to try and get some momentum, it's up to you.
I'll just roll my my normal ones. I
Cool.
just want
So
to
we're-
secure it. I have to shoot something, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Both of those would have hit. So that's
Well, let's-
2 more success. Well,
So let's make it 1 more success there then.
1 more success, yeah, because I set 1 to 1.
Yeah.
So 3
So-
successes in total.
Yeah, so you've got a momentum to save or spend. I would probably buy a challenge die at this point, extra,
Mm-hmm.
to do some extra
Sure.
stress.
Yes. Oh, that's 6 challenge die.
Oh, do it, man. Do it.
I'm going to get him.
Yeah. Hit him.
Okay, so that's oh, I forgot one.
Ooh.
Holy shit!
Oh wow!
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh.
Right. You land a couple of bullets into center body mass in the back of this guy, and he yelps again, George, and falls to one knee as he takes them square in the back.
So when you say yelp, you mean in human
pain,
way?
man.
Oh, in pain. I mean, it's normal. It's not like you're.
No, it's nothing weird, man. Nothing weird. Frogman was weird. We're past weird. We're on intimidating Nazi tech people. So yeah, he yelps as he takes the couple of bullets into the back of the chest. You've actually dealt 2 injuries to him. Third, and like you guys, a third, and he is down. Okay. Keeping the initiative for you guys is free for this round. Who would you like to go next?
I would like to pass off to. So hang on. So we've got guy I just shot near George. We have another guy near Pruitt, Ward, and the other guy is near me, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what's happening with the gas?
Yeah,
I'm gonna pass it over to Sophia.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be my question. Like, what's this? Is this thing still spewing this gas?
Yeah,
On the ground.
and it's exactly the same stuff as before in the carriage.
I'm gonna get up, and I'm gonna run after and like try and like just kick it away as far as I can. I don't want this thing anywhere near us. Like that's
Cool.
actually more frightening than.
Okay.
And
So if you move as a minor action to the place to the canister, that's cool. So you've moved and you're just near this guy now because he only dropped it.
yeah,
And if you want to roll for me, this is going to be, I think, brawn and something like either fighting or survival.
Maybe athletics.
Yeah, this is going to be difficulty 2. It's essentially creating a truth. It's going to take it out of the scene.
I am going to spend the fortune point to get a
Okay.
crit on that.
Okay. Cool. So you have succeeded. Roll that other dice for me,
Okay.
just to see if we do get something like a complication or a.
Oh,
gonna
no,
fall
that's
on
nice.
Ooh.
Because, yeah, 7. It's good. Was that low?
Yeah, nice. So you've got a
Let's
point
just-
of momentum, actually, from that.
Let's just hope it's
and-
not landing on Beethoven's grave and he's rising.
Well,
So yeah, you see like Sophie just get up, like holding her, clutching her like her book in one hand, and like the other hand just kind of closing, just bull rushes toward this thing, just kicks this
okay.
whatever this device is away.
Calamate, you joke, but this is legitimately the epiphany I have had this week. You kick the can as far as you can, and the spoopy monster for this week, you kick it over towards a large tomb, gold gabling, and some amazing marble decoration. Musical notes hover above the grave itself, cast in marble and gold, gilded in gold. And from the soil rips these skeletal hands, and pulling up from the grave is Nazi Zombo Beethoven.
Why? No! Oh my god!
Well, if
And
we were in
he's-
Highgate, we could have an ally instead of an enemy.
And he's converging on your position. You look across from the other side too, and having this gas having spread so quickly at the beginning, Zombo Nazi Johann Strauss ambles and shambles towards your location too.
He walks towards us.
Yeah, he waltzes towards you in a kind of 3-beat rhythm in zombie movements. And then you hear this growl from behind you, Constance, and looking slowly around, right behind you is Nazi Zombo Boltzmann.
Oh god. I'm not okay with this.
You have half an hour left. What would you guys
I
like
love
to do?
it.
Tell me
Can I ask
about
a really
entropy
stupid
now.
question?
Be
Do
gone.
any of these count as illusions that I can disbelieve?
Do you
Because I've still got
what?
that war magic surge. Where I can
Yes.
control an illusion I can disbelieve.
Do you know what? Yes. I'll let's bend that to the mythos. So you turn around and which one so this is a force of will. I want you to describe this force of will to me, what you do, and which one you want to disbelieve out of existence.
I'm going to look at the one that's behind me because I'm guessing that's closer to all of us than any of the others, right?
Yeah.
I'm going
This
to
is-
look at it.
This is Boltzmann Zombo.
I'm going to look at it and kind of holding my mantle out. I'm going to stare at it the same way I stare into my mirrors, into the eyeless sockets, and in my mind encapsulate that horrible abyss of nothingness and chaos that appears when I normally cast my spells, and just will it to go there.
The ground from underneath it crumbles and dips, and it starts to sink quickly now into the soil as it grasps onto your clothing, your skirt, and then finally claws its way, just trying to hold onto the ground, and is sucked back into the abyss. Whose frickin' turn is it? It's one of my guys' turns, right? Okay. Well, I'm gonna before he dies, I'm gonna do a thing. So I Like Dogs is going to that's just his name now. I like Dogs is going to use his amazing cool palm force plate on you, George, as he on down on one knee pushes his hand out and just shouts 9 at you, and I haven't even put like an attack in here. Cool, why not? So I'm just going to roll some challenge dice because it's crazy like that. Although I don't know why I haven't put an attack in here. I'm going to roll coordination and fighting, like a range attack here. Oh, coordination and engineering, because he's got a little focus there. That's cool. So 13 is critting on a 3. Give myself another die. Oh, all successes and crit on a 3. 4 successes for 2. Gives me a couple of challenge dice extra for this. This is for... do you know what? I'm not actually going to use the challenge dice, the extra challenge dice for that momentum spent. I'm going to roll these. What I'm going to do, I'm going to give you 1, 2, 3 points of physical stress. And I'm going to pick you up off the floor. You are now held as if kind of in a harness and around your neck, up in the air, a good 6 feet up, as he holds you up there. I'm going to spend the equivalent of a fortune point, so 3 more, down to 4 threat now, to take a second major action. I'm going to roll a second attack with my Walther PPK. So, same dice. Does George's hat fall off?
Major action? I thought you couldn't repeat an action you just made.
So this was a different thing. So it's a force.
Oh, okay.
It's a force doobie thing, and now it's a pistol ranged attack. Which right now, because it's convenient, I'm thinking of 2 different things. But they are, I suppose, 2 attack actions.
No, I'm just curious how that works because of a thing on when my turn.
Shut up! I spent threat, all right. It's all right. He didn't hit anyway because he's rubbish. He's rubs. So he tries to aim, and just as he shoots, his other leg kind of fails him, and the blood is now pooling around his front, and as you can see. You guys who are by the tree trickling down his back, down and soaking in towards the seat of his trousers now as well, as he's falling down onto the floor. I'm going to get, because I want to conclude this. The 2 thugs we've got on each other's side, essentially are starting to pull away now, and they're essentially kind of bugging out. But they've seen the zombos on either side advancing on your position. Who do we have left? Constance, you're left, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to fast forward these guys to close range with you. So they have basically now advanced as you guys have tried to move around to make your actions. Yeah, Nazi zombie Beethoven and Nazi zombie Strauss are now advancing on you guys at the tree. What would you like to do?
Can I get into close range with weird I Like Dogs dude?
Yep.
Okay, I'll do that. And then I will spend a point of momentum to make another minor action so I can use the prepare action. And if he's like holding George up, I want to walk right up to him, grab him by the jaw, and just look him in the eyes as I cast my spell.
Yep. Ooh, nice.
So like if you want, just as like you're going to look at me and then see what happens. See how horribly wrong this goes when I try
Wowzers. All right.
When I try to do this. So I will. Do you guys mind if I spend some momentum to roll these dice, because I want to make sure it still goes.
You do it.
Okay, so in which
Like,
case,
this is the
how
big
much momentum-
bad. Spend it.
In which case, I will then spend 3 momentum and 3 threat, so I can roll 5 dice. This
Yes.
is difficulty 3.
All right.
Let's see what happens here.
Ooh.
That is. Where is the thing for the spell?
Complication.
I might re-roll that. I just have
Is
to
that a
work out.
miscast?
No. I don't
Any
think
skill
so.
test, any roll that 20 causes a complication. Due to the complicated nature of spell casting, the complication range for the casting the spell is increased by the spell's difficulty. What's the difficulty of the spell?
Oh, that will be 3.
So an 18 or a 20 means
Yeah.
2 complications.
It hasn't got my description doesn't have a thing for what happens if it's miscast.
Okay.
But there's 3 successes there. I could use a fortune point to re-roll the first 2.
I am encouraged by the text to apply my creativity, ingenuity, and sense of fun to devise a truly spectacular and devious effect with a miscast.
Okay. The
Freaky
miscast happens
Friday.
whether or not I re-roll the dice, doesn't it?
No, I think it. I would think it's the final result. So if you re-roll these complications,
I will re-roll the complications.
then it doesn't. Then it hopefully won't miscast. 18, 19, 20. Oh,
Those will all be successes.
how many is that?
1, 2, 3. That's 5 successes on a difficulty
Cool.
3.
So
So
give yourself some momentum,
Yeah.
and
the spell goes-
the spell effect works.
yeah, so that's 9 challenge dice of mental stress with the stun effect. I'm going to spend 2 of that momentum to give it the vicious effect, just because I really hate this dude.
Okay,
I'm not okay with him.
but he likes dogs.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 points of stress. 12, 13, 14. 5s and 6s are effects.
Yeah,
16 points of
Prude's-
stress, though.
Prue's nodding.
16 points of stress.
So, I mean, what is literally the worst thing that could happen to somebody under this spell?
It's not a case that he sees any particular one thing that's horrific, but he's literally the Gates of the Multiverse is based off the Mythos spell, and it's Yog-Sothoth, the Keeper of Hidden Knowledge. I open his eyes to the true nature of the cold, harsh, unyielding universe. He just sees all of the chaos of the cold and the dark and the nothingness and just all of the things that he could never possibly imagine. It's just too much for any one person to ever see.
Yeah, he lives it cosmically, and everyone sees him in that second convulse and shrivel up into a fetal position, and mind blown as a guy with no real consciousness left. You see his eyes roll into the back of his head, and he convulses and drops to the floor. The guys now, the thugs that were either side converging on your position, are now freaked and just do one. All you got left: Zombie Beethoven, Zombie Strauss.
I'm going to shout back for someone to grab the book, because I'm assuming this is the end of the round.
Okay,
And just
top of the
grab
round.
the-
You guys want to go first? Who wants to pick up the book? Who's there? So Ward, you've rolled around a bit. Sophia, you're nearby, I think. No, you've moved over to the guy. You're muted as well.
Yeah, I think I'm up. I'm up with everybody else.
Yeah. Elsie, I think you were closest, actually.
Cool. I'll pick myself up off the floor and I'll run over to the book and scoop it up.
Cool.
And
All
I'll
right.
shout to everybody, we should get out of here and leave him for them.
Okay. I am gonna make. Actually, yeah. You know what? This is it. This is the conclusion. You guys do an absolute runner, and looking back just a second, as this graveyard now is deserted, the two skeletal remains with, grotesque moldy flesh hanging off them of these two composers are chowing down on I like dogs. That is never a sentence I thought I would utter in my life. But it makes perfect sense to me, guys. If that's not a clip, I don't know what is. No.
I recommend to check.
You can't just type that in chat and leave it hanging, man.
Oh, it's so good. So good.
Right. This line, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else. This concludes the episode, Vienna Blood. Susie, please give me Elsie's finishing line of the episode.
Are you ready for this? Looks like the composers just got decomposed.
Deal with it.
You can tell your story also.
So concludes our adventure in Vienna.
Yeah, tell Beethoven to roll over, but he wouldn't hear it anyway. We hop in the car, slide
I'm
across
sorry,
the
guys.
road.
I had to do that. I hate that. That dude was awful with the whole dogs thing. I'm not okay with him being weird about Tetley.
We need to. I recommend people to Google Johann Strauss, because just picturing him with he's got the most fantastic beard. So I'm picturing a zombie version of it. It's really super cool. Sam, if I may add one final touch, I think there was an NPC bypasser was straddling next there. Sigmund Freud was passing by the cemetery and saw what happened, because he was in Vienna at that time, and that's when he decided to leave Vienna for London, I think.
Right.
Said, you know what?
Sure. Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah. Okay. So a couple of pointers here, just kind of wrapping up. I know it's not as cool, conclusive as Elsie's finishing line, but essentially, as you're in the car, who would want to inspect the book? Elsie has jumped into the driver's seat, obviously, and is speeding you guys away. Who would be looking at the book, at the wrapping and the journal?
Is it going to be me?
The spooky girl, yes.
The spooky one. The one that is now acting totally normal about the fact she literally just drove a guy to complete insanity.
Yeah.
She's just not going to talk about it.
Ward's going to be in the front seat as far away from her as possible.
So are we gonna talk about this or?
I think if you say that, Constance will literally look at you and just go, talk about what?
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
The opera bouffe we just saw happening.
Is this
Are you? No, it's okay. I'm just going to tell you. You open this journal. You peel off the kind of aging black rubber band. Peel open this journal, and inside is an absolute wealth of information and research. It's Dr. Ehrlichman's journal. To fully comprehend everything that's in here, it's going to take you weeks of intense study. But there are several important snippets that you can get just by flicking through and glancing, and Sophia over her shoulder as well. You get a fair amount of this too. Ehrlichman had begun translating some kind of ancient stone, almost a kind of Rosetta Stone, in an attempt to trace the ancient origins of the Germanic peoples. I can give you guys all an update on this too after the session, so that we're clued in for next session. There appears to be notes alluding to some sort of powerful ancient artifact that was split up in antiquity in parts of 5 far-flung locations around the globe. As you flick through, one of these locations is Rome. There are several others, and I think the idea behind the campaign as well is that you can essentially pick where you want to go. But obviously this is leading you towards Rome and the stuff we've had previous, but we don't have to necessarily start there. Now this is where it really gets funny for you, and even you, Constance, get a little bit kind of, what, like, really? This is what we're talking about? But these artifacts allegedly come from the lost civilization of Atlantis. I know, right? Who knew? There are notes pertaining to a German expedition that recently brought back a manuscript from Tibet that corroborates a fair amount of information that Ehrlichman was working on translating this stone. Ehrlichman, there's a note towards the back as you flick through. It's just in his writing. It's a little, almost like a kind of back, kind of post-it note size, just a little index card in the back as he's written to himself. He's convinced that someone within the Wehrmacht is determined to collect the artifacts and intends to use them as some kind of weapon for the Third Reich. So you have the journal. Fast forwarding a little bit towards just getting your belongings together. I imagine you just kind of race back to the hotel. Because you've got a plane, you're not waiting for any particular flight or anything. You can leave whenever you like. I would like Sophia to make contact with British intelligence just once here, just to check in and just try and make sense of that. And what you get on the other end of the phone line is another secretary back at Whitehall who tells you to return home immediately. They have intelligence suggesting that war is imminent with Germany based on their actions across a couple of borders. They're not sure, but at the moment they are concerned that things could kick off immediately. So they essentially order you to return home.
Okay.
So remind me, did they invade Poland already?
It's Poland they invaded, yeah.
Mhm.
I'm being
They
a bit
already
sketchy with you.
did that.
I mean, this is so it's kind of speaking much more kind of out of character about the campaign. I mean, this is set literally like on the eve of World War II. Like it gives you days essentially, and then so you as a whole group pack your belongings as quickly as you can, get on that plane. And we never got to really play it out, and I don't think there's time. But I would have loved that you're just about on the runway, just taxiing off, about to start, and Wehrmacht cars start drawing up onto the runway, and there's that kind of machine gun fire as you start lifting off into the sky, and as you try and leave Austrian airspace as quickly as possible, taking a more of a southerly route round before you bank round and start moving up towards the France and the Kent coast. So that, in essence, guys, is the first adventure of Shadows of Atlantis.
We did it.
Yeah, we did it.
We did
Against all odds. We did it.
We reanimated the dead.
Cool.
Okay. Now, so let's handle some XP then. It's character creation, isn't it? Right at the bottom. So, heroism. There wasn't really a goal here, but you do know a bit more about what's going on. We got a fair amount of. I gave a kind of goal XP out last time, so I'm not going to do that this time, unfortunately. But in terms of heroism, you guys, if you could nominate for me who you think did some awesome heroic actions this session, it's completely up to you.
I would say Constance sacrificing her sanity and mind to do the necessary magics to get the job done today. It's pretty heroic, even though that's completely out of character, and Ward is made completely uncomfortable by her presence.
I would say George, because he like ran up behind the weird I like dogs dude and just put a gun to his head with no thought to his own safety. It was just like, that was pretty awesome.
Well, what can I say? I am a cat person.
Yeah, I would say Sophia for that amazing field goal she kicked with the canister.
Thanks.
I know I'm not strictly meant to be sticking my oar in here, but I think everyone had a moment. Like Elsie's getting in the car and like getting into that car like quickly as
You get 4 XP.
Yeah.
You get 4 XP.
well, like, so
Everybody gets 4 XP.
I think everyone should get 2 XP for the awesome final session of this part of the
Hey,
campaign.
can I vote? I
Yeah.
wanted to vote for Sophia also.
Cool. Okay. So in terms of the most heroic thing this session, what's the vote?
So that's 2 for Sophia, I think. 1 for me and 1
Yeah.
for Virginia.
Yeah, I think coming up
Alright.
on that guy, yeah, it's...
Let's give it to Sophia then. You get 2 more XP. So everyone gets 2, but
nice.
you get 2 more for the most heroic, awesome thing this session. No one invoked a truth to regain a fortune point. So like no one kind of created a complication for themselves. So there's not that. Remember, there's always that option if you need some more fortune. Failure. Did anyone fail a skill test where they bought 1 or more bonus d20s?
I don't...
No.
I don't think so.
think so.
It was all a lot
No.
of throwing a fortune around and being awesome and rolling stuff, right?
I think we rolled pretty good.
Yeah. All right. And then threat spends. There was one time I spent 3 threat more than once. Hang on a minute. I've got my stupid bit of paper here again. I went from 7 to 4, so that was definitely a thing. Yeah. So 1 XP for everyone. There we go. And because we're at the end of the adventure, we got a little bit of downtime. You guys can spend XP. I think to save a little bit of the schedule and to save everyone else at home, we'll do a little bit of that during the week. So feel free to like change stuff up, add stuff to your character sheets, and then we can have a quick kind of recap of what people have done at the top of next session. Otherwise, I think we are roughly all done. I've spoken a lot, so I need another drink of water. All right. Let's go around and remind people who we are. And again, I would love to very quickly hear, if possible, one thing that you really liked about this session, one thing that you didn't like so much, or you thought could do with improvement and stuff. So, Pruitt, unless you can't think of anything right now, I'll hand over to you as usual.
I really I like the I like the crazy Nazi like Magitech shit. Like I love that stuff. So whatever that canister is that creates zombies, and he's got a freaking like force projector hand thing. I mean, come on, that's what we're here for, right? Anybody can just shoot Nazis. Oh wait, never mind. What it didn't like. I don't like getting shot at, but that's more just a personal preference.
If that's all you've got, man, I would call that a win.
Yeah, I mean, no. I'm really enjoying the system. I mean, I've pretty much got my stuff on lockdown. I think I know my character pretty well, and so I just look forward to. I didn't like the fact there needs to be more livestock, more animals. I need a horse I can jump on and be heroic and
Okay.
That's that. Yeah. But anyway, I really enjoyed it. But I'm Pruitt. I'm one half of WebDM. We do games on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday on our Twitch channel. And also game here on Encounter Roleplay on Wednesday afternoons from 1 Central to 6 Central. And so, you can find me here. But until next week, I will be figuring out what I'm going to spend all my XP on. But I think I've already chosen. So I can't wait to come back, and maybe I'll be in fatigues next week now that the war's officially begun. So
Yeah, man. Cool.
we'll see.
Thank you. V, who are you? What did you like and what didn't you like?
I really liked the weird zombie gas canister stuff. I had a moment where I kind of realized we're in a graveyard, but they're buried, so it's fine, right? Was not fine. Yeah, I really like the kind of...
Beethoven and Strauss was literally like after you left me on the tube today. I was like, oh my God, yeah. They're in this graveyard, aren't they? Yeah, man. Of course.
Oh no.
Somebody Beethoven.
I promise I didn't give him that idea. I also really liked your whole description of like the creepy dude in the bookshop. That was great.
That was like 100% the book, the campaign. It's really nice. He is a bit of an odd character to try and wrap your head around. And I didn't feel like originally he kind of added much to it, but I can see now like kind of how much just more kind of flavor and creepiness and stuff that he can add to the adventure. I
don't think there was anything I didn't like. I mean, I really liked the being able to just spend more fortune because it just felt more fun. It felt pulpier and like things were moving quicker.
Sure. My question to that is actually, guys, did we fail a roll today? I don't think we did. Nope. So then at that point, we start to really kind of consider, well, are we just kind of spending resources to make stuff happen? Is that thematic? And yeah, it might feel pulpy, but also does it lend itself to actually people can just succeed? And at that point, you've really got to consider what's relevant in terms of dice rolling.
I was wondering about that. There's actually a lot of stuff you can do before your roll to make them succeed, and it takes quite a bit of time. But I personally don't find it adds that much to the story. I was wondering if it would be maybe something to consider. Maybe instead of improving the odds of your test to be a success, maybe you could make it so that if you fail, it's a failure with something positive still happening, or it's really success, not success. I find after the roll. So there's a lot of talking before about spending stuff, but it doesn't bring that much flavor, color, and stuff going on. And it's always I fail or I succeed. It's a bit of maybe something to look into. Maybe that's what fortune could do. You use it. It's not that gives you too critical success. Just it prevents you from really failing miserably. I don't know.
Maybe.
Or maybe it's a case of doing like we do with actions, in that you can only use each of the fortune point spends in a scene.
That might be a good limiter. Yeah.
I think being able to spend more of them is good, but I think maybe a limiter somewhere on that, and it might just be that you can't repeat them in a scene. But I don't think there's anything I liked.
With the same idea, I find the cost to recover them is really high. I mean, asking for an extra success, because in terms of stuff happening in narration, I'd be interested to do more stuff like, oh, my war started early, I'm traumatized. I could play with the subject of PTSD a tiny bit, right? Not to be disrespectful, but that's something which would be part of George. But when I see the cost of you need one extra success each time, I'm like, wow, that's actually a lot. So I'd prefer, for instance, the opposite of, well, if I do that, it's not an extra success I need, it's just that there will be a complication. Maybe not what you call a complication, but I can succeed, but there will be a complication.
Yeah, possibly. That's all food for thought.
But yeah, so
cool.
That's my takeaway. But very quickly, I am Tabletop Horde on Twitter. You can follow me. I post about games and post pictures of games. I'm also a member rep for the Roleplay Haven, which is a London/Wales-based RPG club where you can come along and play games and also raise money for charity. Aside from that, I work with Sam at Modifius, so I occasionally, help make games too. So that's also fun.
Hey, thank you very much. Susie, who are you? What did you like and what didn't you like?
Well, I very much enjoyed this session. It was very, 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 very good. Nazi, zombie, Strauss, and Beethoven were inspired and amazing, and I might actually have to paint them because that was a hilarious image and very good. I can't say that there was a whole lot I disliked. Actually, like it was, the frustration I had a little bit last time with combat wasn't there this time because I did use my fortune properly this time.
Yeah.
And I did shoot the I like dogs guy, so it was an all-around good session for me. I got to steal a car. But yeah, I do agree that maybe there's a balance to be found with the spending of fortune going on there somewhere. But I reckon we'll find it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you can find me everywhere on the internet at Susanna Grace. I'm a variety streamer who does video games, art, tabletop RPGs, you name it. I've probably done it. You can find me on my channel on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and you can find me here on Encounter Roleplay Thursdays, Fridays, DMing the video game and in this game. And on Sundays, you can find me on WebDM as part of the sci-fi system game called The Lost Girls, in which we play vampires in the 80s. But other than that, if you head to my Twitter, there is a pinned tweet that tells you where I am and what I'm doing at any given time. So, see you there.
Nice.
So I just had an idea, Sam.
go on.
Sorry. You know how you can invoke a truth to get a fortune point back? Well, what if
Yeah.
you reset the limiter on the fortune points, but you can also invoke a truth to spend another fortune point in that scene, like to re-unlock it? I don't know. So
maybe.
it's still there, like the possibility of spending more than one fortune point in a scene is still there, but you have to do something to unlock it once it's been spent once. I don't know, just a thought.
Sure, yeah. So I mean, what we do in Star Trek is essentially you only have this kind of one determination, as we call it, or this fortune point, and you need to invoke one of your values to be able to spend it. So they're not so much like truths that you have about your character that are something either physical about your character, but they're basically your kind of driving ethics and your core beliefs in terms of who your character is, their values. So your value might be nobody left behind or something, and so if you invoke that to spend your determination, you can do one of these spends. So it could be that we could look at that for it. So that actually the limiter isn't so much on kind of like an arbitrary thing with scenes or with turns or something like that, but it's so long as that applies and you can make it apply, keep spending, that kind of thing. It also, I find that quite thematic too, because I think it reminds you who the characters are.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's nice if it brings out the story of your character, because with the setting, which is historical itself, I find it's really nice to constantly repopulate that and remind where we each come from.
Yeah, man. Yeah, cool. All right. So, Shauna, over to you. Who are you, and what did you like, and what didn't you like?
Yeah, I liked actually, I really liked the little group ritual we did. That was pretty spooky, and it kind of like got people to kind of do things. Like it got Ward kind of like wrapped up in the occult stuff. It was pretty cool. But yeah, I like the way that the shifting over to initiative order, kind of like saying this person go, this person, and you sped up quite a bit compared to last time.
I really like that actually too. Yeah,
Much better,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, and also, I agree. Like, the fortune being maybe more like, being character focused, more character focused in some way. It would be really awesome. Also, with like bringing in more character stuff. But yeah,
cool.
Yeah, Shauna Flying Cirrus on Twitter. Just draw, and I have most of my games posted up there, and bring up. I do on Parsec RPG's channel. We do Hell's Rebels, which is a Pathfinder module, but we're converted to 5e, and everybody's just a bunch of like spoiled nobles that we try to start a revolution, and we just end up just doing weird stuff. It's wonderful.
Nice, cool, cool, awesome. Cheers for that. Callum, over to you finally. Who are you? Where are you? And what did you like? What didn't you like?
I am Callum from the Rollist podcast, a proud member of the RPG Academy Network, which was hosting that show on their own Twitch channel. So thank you very much, Tom, for that. Yeah, the Rose Podcast. I got quite a few new listeners, I believe, thanks to this show. The only thing I would ask, that's awesome, everyone. Thanks for subscribing. Please do send me tweets at RollesPod or write me reviews and let me know what you think of the show. That would be great. And maybe if you want also to tell me things in person, you can join me and the Roleplay Heaven, Phoenix Games Club, many other London club, maybe Sam and Virginia here on March 6th in London for the Drinks and Dice at Bad Moon Cafe.
London town.
And the thing I like, I really enjoyed the ritual, so it was awesome. And I like this. There are a few things. I was really rough with my character towards the other characters at the beginning, but now I got stuff to play with, and I look forward to build on what happened with the rituals to ask stuff to Constance. And so I really, really enjoyed that. The initiative that was way better this time, I think. And the thing I didn't like, I'm just slightly disappointed that we got a car and still no super cool LC at the wheel scene. So I think we still have to have that scene happen.
It's always got to be a car chase. I'll get a car chase in, I promise.
Or airplane chase. No, a truck chase or an airplane chase, please.
All right.
Car chase
into an
into a
airplane.
plane.
Yes.
Yes.
Being chased by a
Yes.
tank.
All right.
Yes.
God, I'm genius.
I'll work it in. If I can work, as long as there's a zombie Beethoven in, I can work this in. Careful, cat. All right, cool. Well, thank you very much for watching, guys. I am Sam, otherwise known around the internet as RPG Webby. You can find me there on Twitter, Reddit as well, and that is my Twitch channel too. Check out my Twitch channel on Sunday because we will be running a little playtest for character creation of my upcoming game, The Spy Game. It's a 5e derived tabletop RPG, all about spies, clandestine operations, all kind of set in the kind of tomorrow as a kind of setting. So very modern day take on 5e and its rules. We are doing that at 11 a.m. EST or 4 p.m. GMT for a couple of hours. And my plan is to keep testing every week on Sunday and maybe eventually change up the days depending on how the kind of people's schedules change. And obviously this show will finish up towards the beginning of April. So if you want to catch up on the show at all, it's online on YouTube, but we are live every Friday from 5 p.m. Eastern or 10 p.m. GMT. We've done a bit about that. So finally, I would love you to get in touch if you want to try 2D20 edition of Achtung Cthulhu. You can go to modifius.com/AC2D20 beta and you can sign up for the beta test. I am going to put that in chat right now if I can click in the right place. Please go there and sign up if you're interested in trying out the game and giving us some feedback. It would be really, really valuable to us. If you've seen anything you've liked on the game tonight as well, you think that it's cool or you want to hear more about, or you actually think kind of, like the guys here, maybe isn't working quite to your taste, you can reach out onto me at Twitter. That's at RPG Webby. Virginia's on there as well as an employee of Modifius, and again, she's at Tabletop Horde. Don't forget to tag Modifius in as well. That's just at Modifius. And that is it for us in the concluding first chapter of the Shadows of Atlantis. Thank you very much for watching. We will see you next week. Bye.